And we are live. Good evening, gentlemen. Good evening, MGTOW. Good evening, Purple Pill. Good evening, Blue Pill. Good evening, men. This is Nemo. And welcome to the Depression Stream. That sounds so inviting, I know. I am trying to get my co-hosts on. I guess I'm going to have to physically go get the link and send to Jamie. Napalm Mallard is in the chat. Welcome, Napalm Mallard. I didn't know you even existed. And hey there, Asystole. Welcome.
Thanks for having me.
I can't hear you because my headphones aren't in. Beard is not prepared. Okay. Beard is not prepared. All right, headphones are in. I've got to get the link and send it to Jamie through Hangouts because apparently the email way doesn't work for him.
Are we live right now? Or are we
we're live. We are live right now.
Okay. Well, I just walked over. I didn't know you just made my fourth pot of coffee for today. I had about or so. So we'll see if I can make it through.
All right. Well, hopefully you should. You're caffeinated. So, welcome, Joe Buddy, MGTOW Warrior. As always, Asystole, you're in the chat. So you're in the chat and the stream. Brian Richardson, NYC, and Mindframe. Welcome, gentlemen.
Hey, what's up?
And hey, Jamie, how's it going?
Pretty good.
I had a good monologue prepared for the start of this stream, but it escapes me now. Something to relate with Dexter. Did you ever watch that show?
Yeah.
I was gonna work in the dark passenger thing, and it was gonna be great. But guess what? My depression got the best of me and made me forget everything, which is kind of good for the topic.
That's interesting. I guess. I actually created a post on Facebook like a few days ago or a week ago or something. Did you see that by any chance?
Probably, but I'm not recalling it right offhand.
Yeah, I'm such a Facebook whore that I have to scroll through like tons of posts. Get to it. You can keep talking.
Yeah, I've been trying to give that up because that's another thing that my whole my mentality gets me is if I get in one of those deep ruts, I'll just sit and scroll Facebook for hours and it pisses me off, but I do it anyway.
Yeah, scrolling on Facebook kind of increases your mental instability.
Yeah,
because it kind of overloads you, you know.
Yeah, and when you see, I don't know. I don't have a big. There's a squeaking noise down in my basement, so if it gets on the microphone, I apologize. I don't know what the fuck it is.
Is that you?
No. I don't know. I'm keeping my ass cheeks cinched tight. I don't want to get involved in any cults
because that's what I've always heard that weird squeaking noise on your streams, and I didn't know what it was.
Yeah, I have no idea. It's coming from the basement. I thought it was maybe my chair, but I'm not even moving when the sound is happening. And I've lost my fucking train of thought. What was that, Asystole?
I said it must be a spook.
Probably.
A spook?
Yeah, some sort of ghost.
Well, that's kind of racist.
A ghoul, a ghost, a ghastly being, a spook.
Okay, I found it, by the way. I found the post.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So it was just a post I made on Facebook. I was thinking about the show Dexter. So I said, the show Dexter is actually a prime example of how to raise a child with, let's just say, different sensibilities. If you can teach the child to become disciplined and to only let out who they are in privacy or in measured increments, in Dexter's case, killing animals until he reached maturity, then killing only bad guys, they will be much better functioning members of society. The scary part of Dexter is that Dexter was perceived as just another guy by his coworkers and had relatively high status in his community. He could pass for normal, and in doing so, he was able to live a happier, productive life. It's only when he got reckless when shit started to hit the fan. When he let out his dark passenger when it wasn't supposed to, or made relationships with people who were harmful to him and those he cared about. But the ultimate lesson to walk away with is that no matter if you're sociopathic, bipolar, depressed, gay, racist, misogynist, trans, separate you from people, you can get by in life by passing for normal and then letting out who you are in private. Adults obviously realize this, but it's also important to instill these values in our children, or else they face more severe consequences. So
Yeah,
that was my little.
yeah, that was good. That was good. That was a thinker.
Yeah, thanks.
And Brian says in the chat, the last episode of Dexter made me cry for 2 nights straight. I never actually finished the show. I think the last season of that show I watched was with fucking Edward James Olmos, and I didn't really care for the few episodes of that when I watched.
I mean, I've seen it, and all I can say is I cried too, but for completely different reasons.
That I don't know. I think one of my favorite seasons of that show was the 3rd season with Jimmy Smith. I thought that season was fucking great.
Yeah, that was season 3.
Yes.
Yeah, that one and the 4th season were like the last truly good seasons.
Yeah, the 4th one was with John Lithgow.
Yeah.
Oh, that one was excellent.
That one was good. However, even then I could tell it was starting to fall off a bit.
Yeah, and then the 5th season, that's the one with Julia Stiles, wasn't it? And I thought the show just took a steep downturn in that season.
Yeah, it did.
Dexter just wasn't as relatable to me as he was through the show prior to that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. I think like it was an interesting premise, like giving Dexter like, oh, let's give him kind of like a mission to go on to save this, this girl from, herself or her own sanity or whatever. I don't know. But
yeah, I don't know. The more they tried to humanize Dexter, it just seemed that it just didn't work for the spirit of the show.
You're right. That was basically the show's downfall, is kind of making Dexter more like a normal. In the beginning, it's like, I don't have any fucking feelings, but I kind of get something out of this arrangement where this, I have this sister and she's pleasant to be around, and also this woman who I'm having sex with, and she aids in my normal kind of life.
She gives me the facade of normality, so nobody starts to see me.
Yeah, exactly. And then later on, he's like, "No, I actually really care about all these people. They're my family." It's like, okay, well, kind of undermining the whole idea of Dexter. But.
Yeah, and I don't know. I guess maybe that's the pessimist in me and the depressed person. Like, nobody's supposed to fucking make him human.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, is like Dexter starts off as in this place of like, we need to fix him. Like,
yeah, he's a project.
Won't be happy. Yeah, the audience won't be happy unless we fix Dexter somehow.
Oh, I think that's kind of the ploy to draw in more women, because women love projects, and I think that's why, that's why women go for the broken bad boys, and they go for the like pensive artistic types that really don't give a shit about other people. They want to make sure that they fix them. I don't know. I think that's one of my problems with people in general, is that they look at me and they see the dark shit, and then they try to fix you. They try to make you their pet project.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. I have a really a female in my life trying to fix me, who would claim that he's not a female. He's pretty.
I was like, oh, you have a female. I see what you did there.
Yeah,
I'm slow.
Yeah, she's trying really hard to fix all my issues.
Well, she's also trying to protect us, so let's look out for Mama.
Yeah, that's true. Very, very motherly.
Okay, all right. Well, we'll get back on topic. We're not gonna. Yeah. We'll save the drama for your mama tomorrow night on the Purple Pill cast. So,
oh god, that's gonna be insane. I don't think did Mindframe reply to my? He didn't reply right now.
Did you say he didn't reply to your email yet?
Yeah. Are you going to type it or are you going to speak it?
No, MGTOW, Mindframe. JB Gunner, good to see you. Good to see you. Why don't you check your Gmail, sir? Jamie, the Purple Pill guy, has sent you an email for your immediate reading pleasure. And after you read it, you can piss on a bitch's face.
Yep.
TFC, are you still there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. So, I guess the direction I kind of want this stream to go is that I don't want to get into a lot of technical medical definitions when it comes to what depression is. I mean, we can basically chalk it up to it's a chemical imbalance in the brain, and people with depression typically don't get enough the chemicals like serotonin and dopamine and all that shit. So if you have questions, because I know you say that you've never felt depressed before, which that you're one of the lucky few. What kind of questions do you have? Because you've got two guys that I've dealt with it for probably since I was 9 or 10 years old, and then Jamie's dealt with it for as long as
I was a teenager, basically.
Okay, so we've been living with depression for a while. So if you have any kind of questions that could give you a better understanding, or if you want to ask about our any of our experiences, Joe Buddy, I see. Welcome to the stream, Joe Buddy. You can also, I don't know if you've dealt with depression before personally, but we're gonna field Asystole's questions or in the chat. If you all have any questions or want to know anything about depression in general, or how Jamie and I have dealt with our own, or what any kind of feelings associated with it, it's going to be almost an open forum. At least from my end, I tried not to prepare anything because I didn't want to come out and feel like I scripted the entire thing. I wanted it to feel more natural and real. But there we go.
Hey, I got a little down in the dumps after I got divorced, but I haven't really suffered from depression like clinical depression. But if you go and make a spectacle of yourself in public, if you say you like taking things up the ass, or if somebody steals the Cuck of the Year award from you and you get all, your feelings hurt about it, do you think you might be suffering from depression?
I think you might be suffering from something.
I think you're suffering from retardation.
Something delusional. You might be a Brussels sprout. Because I'm not PC, guys. I'm not PC at all. But I mean,
Brussels sprout, you fucking racist.
We really need to think of the potatoes here, and I really don't want to disparage that starchy vegetable like root that grows in the ground. So
been suffering for too long.
It's Brussels sprout for now, because I hate Brussels sprouts, and a lot of people probably will agree.
Yeah, they have Brussels sprout privilege anyway.
Yeah. They think they're so high and mighty because they're from Brussels.
The potatoes they've been oppressed for a while. We need to give them give them a break.
Yeah, I mean, think of Ireland. Think of all those potatoes. There was a potato famine. There were starving fucking potatoes in Ireland, you guys. Seriously.
6 million potatoes.
They died in the Holocaust.
Yeah, the potato cost.
It was the Grand French Fry Massacre of 1943.
The hollow spot.
It was in Dresden, Germany, I think. So, anyway, back.
I heard. Yeah, this is about depression. I heard.
Yeah. We can't be laughing and cutting up. See, this is that is a good segue into one of my defense mechanisms when it comes to facing my depression head on. Is I make a fucking joke out of everything.
Yeah, me too. I do that same thing.
It helps keep the darkness at bay. Kind of pushes it down in the bottom of your stomach. But Asystole, if you want to if you have a question in mind, or Joe Buddy, we can get this rolling, and whoever starts answering it first can answer, and then the other person can answer.
Yeah, can you guys hear me okay for the time being?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Hopefully it stays that way. I'll try not to move my phone. All right. So I guess my first question would be, and let me preface this by saying, as somebody that's never dealt with this before, I'm probably going to come off as really ignorant. And I said it before, kind of like the caveman first discovering fire. Oh, hold on. Just like I don't understand it. So I'm asking these questions legitimately, and I'm just looking for honest answers. I guess I would ask, have you guys both been clinically diagnosed with this kind of thing, or is this just something you think you have or you have?
Well, I know I've been diagnosed several times.
Yeah, I've been, but several of the professionals that I went to seek help from, they didn't really want to. They wanted to beat around the bush with it, but all in all, it was just a ploy for them to prescribe medicine.
Yeah,
but yeah,
they didn't really try to. They didn't try to like fix the problem or anything. They're just like, we'll just drug you up.
Yeah, and they don't even give you drugs that work. They never did for me, and so I just would assume not deal with the professional end of dealing with it anymore, because it's just a big runaround, and you spend way too much money, and put in too much effort to go to these therapists or psychiatrists or psychologists or whoever you're going to it's just not worth it in the end.
Yep.
Okay. Well, I guess my next question would be like, thing, is it something that comes and goes? I mean, is it something that you wake up and you're okay at first, but then something sets in and it's coming, or is it just a constant kind of thing?
It really depends on the day. I mean, every day for the most part, I feel it at some point during the day. Now, some days it's like just nagging little thoughts in the back of your head, and some days it's right in the forefront of your brain. Like I could be at work doing my job, and I don't even see what I'm doing. I'm just deep within the fucking self-deprecating thoughts and all these doomsday scenarios with my life, and then those days are really trying. And sometimes I can go for months like that. Sometimes it's like for 10 minutes and then it's gone. I mean, at least at one point every day, I can hear that inner dialogue in the back of my head saying, "You're a stupid piece of shit." I'll give Jamie a chance to answer if he feels like answering that one.
Yeah, sure. It's interesting that you say that. That thought that runs across your head. Because that's kind of how depression started for me. Like, in the past when I was I didn't train my brain to kind of detect these things, like these thoughts that would come across my brain. I would just kind of entertain them. Like whatever negative thought came across my head, I would indulge it. I would follow it to its conclusion, and it would depress the fuck out of me. And at some point, there's this thing called cognitive behavioral therapy, which you guys might have heard of. Yeah. I mean, I can't claim to have done everything on that to the letter, but for the main idea of it, which is basically catching negative thoughts as they come in. And there's also a guy who when I got into like meditating or whatever in college, there's a guy named Eckhart Tolle, and he has this very kind of soft meditative voice that you listen to, and he tries to, like, I don't know if teach is the right word, but he's trying to, like, I guess, program your mind to think, look, when the negative thought comes into your brain, don't identify with it. Just realize it's just a thought coming across your head, and just let it go. And then that's it. And since I'm a very, like, kind of practical guy, that kind of spoke to me after a while, and I got that, like, drilled into my head that, negative thoughts, they're just going to keep coming. You can't stop them. Everyone has them too. Just some people are better at regulating their negative thoughts than others. Some people are like, they have a negative thought and they're like, nah, well, that's ridiculous. You know,
Yeah.
my life's great. But other people, you know, like I was a while ago, like I would entertain every negative thought, and it made me a very negative person, very pessimistic person. So nowadays, I'm less like that. I can't say I'm the opposite, but
Yeah,
let's just say it's a lot better.
yeah, it's all about managing your pessimism and not letting it completely guide your actions and your thoughts. Otherwise, you know, your depression's at the fucking wheel 24/7.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, guys. I don't know if you guys were done or not. I'm assuming so.
Yeah, I'm done. I'm
Yeah.
trying to be as kind of casual about this conversation, not trying to butt in as much because I know everyone wants to get their, you know, their piece in.
Yeah, I mean, if you guys want to treat it like me asking the questions, we can or whatever. But I was just kind of asking again due to my own ignorance. Somebody had brought up in the chat on 0707, my depression causes me to have high anxiety, and it was kind of interesting. Brian Richardson said the same thing.
Yeah.
Pretty much my situation. So I'm curious. Now, granted, I have felt anxious before, stress, stuff like that. Depression is more like, and not to sound insulting, but depression is more like Eeyore style, so to speak. So, I mean, is it accurate to say that you could have both? I mean, it sounds like those are two opposite ends of the spectrum. I mean, do they go together?
Sometimes, yeah. Like, along with, my, clinical depression that several have diagnosed me with, I also have, what's that stupid thing? They call it social anxiety disorder.
Yeah, social anxiety. I have that too.
I'm an introvert. Obviously, I mean, you can't tell from the way I outburst on YouTube, but this shit's partially anonymous.
I think you mean a soy boy.
Yeah.
Big fucking pussy.
Soy boy. Oh goy. But I do believe that a lot of my anxiety issues are in direct correlation to the depression. They're almost like best buddies. They're almost like the Brussels sprout and Big John.
They do love each other.
They skip hand in hand down the path. They lick each other's taints. And
I can tell you exactly how it works too. So like you're in a social situation and you feel that anxiety coming on. You're like, I think this person doesn't like me. I think they might hate me, or like they think I'm weird or something. Then that factors into your self-esteem. You're like, I'm a hateable person. I suck. Yeah. And you're just like, oh,
everybody is judging me. Yeah. Like, it doesn't matter if that motherfucker doesn't know me from Adam. That little old lady thinks that I'm a fucking worthless human being. And I need to get out of here right now. I have to get out of this fucking grocery store. I can't finish doing what I need to do because everybody, sometimes it feels like everybody is staring at you and judging you. And that just raises your anxiety levels.
Yep.
Or if I'm at work and I'm trying to get a task done and I'm anxious, because it's time sensitive. But then the depression comes in, like, I'm not going to get this fucking done. You're not going to get this fucking done. You can't do that. It's not in your ability. So just don't try. And that even ups the anxiety even more.
Yep.
So the depression definitely causes the anxiety levels to spike. And we all know that, high anxiety on its own isn't good for your health, your mental or physical health, and that shit causes, what's that fucking
cortisol?
It causes your cortisol levels to spike, which can raise your estrogen levels, which can also keep weight on you. So, I'm a fat son of a bitch. And, I've been a high stress kind of guy for a long time. I don't know if I inherit that from,
it's probably like something your dad did when your mom was getting knocked up or some shit.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Some
But,
cigarettes or something like that.
but I also have a predisposition for heart disease. From my father's had like 7 heart attacks, and so all that shit's not good for my health either. Which is why it's kind of imperative that I try to keep this beast under control. But it's insanely hard to do, in my case.
Yep.
Okay. Well, Brian has it looks like a follow-up question. I'll just read it as it's written. He says, I tend to agree with you, but do you think your introvertness plays a larger role?
Plays a larger role in what? With my social anxiety?
Well, he wasn't specific. I'm just reading it as he wrote it.
He probably means your depression.
I mean, it could, but just because I'm an introvert doesn't mean that I don't, enjoy the company of people or like being around people. It's just that I'm very selective about the people that I choose to let in, and I tend to be a very private kind of guy. I don't keep a lot of close friends, and in the real world outside of this YouTube thing. Just because I can't be bothered by other people demanding my attention because I'm selfish.
Yeah. For me, I would say being an introvert means that you are essentially, I'm not sure about the actual percentage, but it's definitely the minority. It's like maybe 20 to 40% of people on the planet. And that means the rest of the people are extroverts. So basically, I don't know like when exactly introversion kind of comes into play. I'm thinking around junior high, middle school time. That's kind of when it starts.
Yeah, 'cause that's when everybody starts to get judgy, because in elementary school, you don't really know those kind of that social caste system isn't set up yet, really.
Yeah. Yeah, and so like when you finally wind up in that kind of system, you find, oh, I'm different from most people here. I better scurry to an area where I'm more like the other people. And so you try to find more introverted people like you who don't judge you as much. And like when you're in situations like that throughout your life where you're not around people who are like you, and you feel like everyone doesn't understand you. That's the other thing. You can kind of tell. Like I remember when I was in my early 20s, I met this guy who seemed like a really cool guy. And he would every time he would like interact with other guys who were more like him, he would kind of do like the bro, like kind of, handshake where he kind of do pulls you close to the chest or something like that. Mm-hmm. And you just it's kind of understood they're like, they're cool, right?
Yeah.
But whenever he approached me, he would always just shake my hand. It's as if he understood that I was not like him, that I was somehow different, that I wasn't part of that whole kind of, I don't know, that thought process or that being of self that was just different, that was other to him. And then that's kind of what it feels like, and that kind of makes you feel depressed, not being accepted and not being like everyone else. You feel like, oh, I'm just this kind of defective person.
It's just like you don't exist to them, really. Mm-hmm. Like they can see you, touch you, and interact with you, but in their mind, you're not part of their world.
Yeah, exactly.
Is it depressing?
It's kind of like you feel like Bruce Willis in The Sixth Sense, where everybody, where you feel like everybody sees you, but they're ignoring you and they pass you by, and then you realize you've been dead the entire time. Spoiler alert! Sorry, the movie's like 20 years old. You all should have seen it by now.
What a twist!
What a twist!
I like my martinis like an M. Night Shyamalan movie.
With a
Shaken.
twist.
Oh, with a twist. Asystole, were you gonna say something
Yeah.
before?
I was just saying, whenever you sighed, I was trying to be funny and saying, is talking about this making you feel depressed?
Not depressed. It's more just like, it's like kind of like you're reliving, past hurt, Like you did that today on Eli's show, I noticed. Like when you were talking about your wife and you're like, well, those days are gone.
Yeah. When your boner used to wake her up in the morning, and now only a ham sandwich will wake her up in the morning.
Yeah,
that's true.
She turned from Scarlett Johansson to Mama Cass real quick. Like that little turn of phrase. I'm surprised I thought of that.
Max asked a couple questions. He asked two. What do you actually get depressed about, Bearded? And then he also asked, do y'all believe you can overcome being an introvert?
Okay. What makes me depressed? I mean, a lot of times it's not even specific things. It's just I wake up and I feel I feel I can kind of relate it to this. I was thinking about this while I was at work today. I was really fucking hungry and I couldn't get anything to eat. So when you're doing something and you get that deep pit in the bottom of your stomach that's insatiable, and there's something wrong, that you might be able to fix it somehow, but you just can't fix it. But I feel that kind of thing, but it's in my brain. If you can relate that feeling, the feeling of extreme hunger that you can't satiate, but it's on your brain. It's that you know that you're unhappy, and there are things that you could do to make you happy. I could easily pick up my guitar and play, or I could listen to music, or I could read a book, but I can't reach any of those things, and I can't bring myself to a level calm. There's some days like that. There are some days where, I think about something that I failed at the day before and I can't fix it. And I know logically I can't go back and fix that fucking mistake, but it still tears at me and makes me depressed. And it's stupid. Sometimes it's the stupidest things. Sometimes it's normal things, that would make normal people depressed. If I had, just for an example, sometime before Thanksgiving, I think last year, my sister's dog died. A little puppy got ran over, and that made me depressed. But that was normal. See, that's something that normal people would get depressed for a little while over a dog dying. But something as stupid as I just wake up and I feel extremely sad and this nagging incompleteness. Does that make sense? Does that resonate at all? I feel like I was just verbal diarrheaing there for a minute.
It makes sense to me.
Sometimes we can't put our finger on what makes us depressed. We just are. And that's what differentiates guys like us that suffer from this kind of thing from like you, TFC. You'll wake up and, it's just like, oh, normal day, time to fucking grind. Yeah. I didn't mean to cut you off there, Jamie. You can go ahead.
No, I do tend to wake up and, well, I don't know. I don't know if this counts, but I definitely feel like shit on gym days when I know I have to go to the gym, but that's for a reason.
But still, I mean, some people wouldn't get depressed over that. They would just think, oh, well, I guess I got to go to the gym.
Yeah, it's just a bummer. It's not really, the same thing. Just because I don't like working out, to me, it's like a total waste of time, but it's like, I have to, look out for my health. That's why I do it.
Well, I was just going to ask, this might tie into this question. Does it ever affect your day-to-day, life? I mean, is there any ever a time where, I mean, your depression or whatever was so like crippling, couldn't, and also I was going to ask, how do you combat it? Jim, they say, X are the best things to do for that. Does it help?
Can you maybe repeat? Because you were kind of starting to cut out a little bit, like mid thought.
All right, let me take it one question at a time. Is your depression ever so crippling that you like can't function, where you either can't get out of bed or you know whatever, or it affects your work or affects your normal daily life?
Yes, for me. Now, do I feel like staying in bed all day? Some days, yeah, I do. But unfortunately, being an adult and having commitments and responsibilities like a full-time job and a part-time job like I have, I can't. But given the opportunity, if let's say I was off work and I didn't have to, be a father that day because my kid's with his mom, and I could stay in bed all day and just let the depression take hold, more than likely I'm going to do it. Does it affect my work? Yeah, some days it does. It definitely does. I'll be at work and I'll just not be motivated, or there'll be something nagging at my conscience. It could be, something I have to do. Somebody that I interacted with that got me down, or just the normal "you're a stupid piece of shit" thoughts that are in the back of my head. There's some days where I'm not as productive, and it's detrimental. It hasn't reared its ugly head in my new full-time job yet, but I normally keep my jobs for years. I'm not one to job hop a lot, so there have been times at previous jobs where for 2 or 3 days my productivity and morale would just be so low that it would actually affect me. I'd get write-ups over it. But I mean, for the most part, I try to power through it. You see all these commercials for depression medication where it's these lonely housewives that probably don't have anything really to be depressed about, that are staying in bed all day. But there's also the element of there's some truth to some of those medication commercials where the one where like depression hurts. There are some days where I get up and my body shouldn't be sore, but every fucking inch of me is like writhing in pain. And I think there's some truth to that people that suffer with chronic depression, get a lot of actual physical, hurt from that. I don't know, Jamie, you could probably shed some light on that. I think I've satiated the spirit of that question.
Yeah. It was basically, sorry, I'm kind of zoning out.
Does that wait a minute, Jamie, does that mean you don't care about my channel?
Yes, that's what that means.
You don't care about my channel?
That's exactly what that means.
Okay, sorry.
Channel means nothing to me. Okay, so I'm sorry. My attention span, just Eli was right. My attention span is like that of a squirrel. The question was, remind me again.
Is that
it was, does the cripple you can't function, normal day-to-day tasks?
Right. I did have an answer for this while JP was talking, but I forgot it because he kept talking.
I'm a fucking windbag over here.
No, it's not your fault. I forget easily when it's short-term stuff. Yeah, what the funny thing is, and it's not funny at all, I just want to say that it's actually quite insidious. The way my mind works is that my depression actually doesn't stop me from doing my day-to-day activities. I go to the gym, usually. I mean, sometimes if I'm feeling lazy that day, I'll work out at home instead, but I'll still work out. I do my work, even though I have no boss telling me what to do. I do all my designs and shit. You know,
Like a
I
big
applied a job like a big fucking pussy. Yes, all artists are pussies. We all know this. It's been established. It's a fact of life now. I do pretty much what I'm supposed to do. You know, I don't ever feel like, oh, I'm so depressed, I got to stay in bed. You know, I feel like I have to get up and do something. Like I have to either work, I have to do like some kind of YouTube thing or whatever. You know, whatever it is, I always have like a project that needs to complete. That's not the issue. The bigger issue for me is actually it's the long game.
Mm-hmm.
It's the depression that plays out over the course of a year or 2 years. I'm sure that if, you know, a psychologist or a psychiatrist, one of those two, looked at my YouTube channel and just kind of, you know, watched the videos from like beginning to end, they could figure out, okay, this is when he started to get depressed about his channel and started to think he wasn't good enough. And then he started producing different content, or he felt overwhelmed by the content he was creating. And that's when he started to make these other kinds of videos. And that's happened. That depression played a role in the shaping of my channel, not just what the people wanted from me. I mean, a lot of times, you know, like people's comments will be either encouraging or discouraging, and they will shape what you do with your channel. You know, if you're subject to your own depression, and it's not just the YouTube thing. I mean, that's a small part of this long game deception that you play on your own mind. There's also, you know, me applying to jobs over the course of months. At some point, I get discouraged, and the depression gets the better of me. It starts to stack up. Where I'm like, okay, no one's responding to me. No one is getting back to me. You know, and it really starts to kind of play with your mind. You're just like, is this even worth it? Try to even keep trying at this. And then you just kind of return back to stuff that works. Like for me, t-shirt design works. I know that if I make my designs, I can put them up in my shops. I could submit them to sites to, you know, sell for, you know, $100 or $200 one day when it goes up on sale or something. And, you know, I know that system. Like I'm comfortable with what I know, with what I know works, and that kind of staves off the depression. Whereas if I keep trying at stuff that doesn't work, it discourages me. It makes me feel like shit, and that's when the depression kind of takes over. So my way of kind of, you know, dealing with depression is just kind of avoiding these painful scenarios and just trying to seek out scenarios that do work.
Yeah, I agree with that and the whole powering through kind of mentality, because it may feel good for your depression, like if you lay in bed all day, but then when you look at it in retrospect, you know, the hindsight is always, you know, you're always watching your ass with that, and you're like, well, I just fucked up by spending the whole day in bed, and I let it get to me.
Yeah, you're probably still, I mean, if I had to put you at a certain point in my life, you're probably maybe around my age 25, you know, in kind of mental state, you know, in dealing with depression. Like you kind of still need to kind of rewire your brain to stop letting negative thoughts kind of get the better of you.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, that's like the story of my life, you know, from age 9 until age 34, still letting all of that negativity affect me.
Yeah, well, you also had a lot of difficult life experiences that kind of contributed to that, I'm sure. So
oh yeah, unfortunately, you know, one divorce, and then, you know, all the shit that's happened with my last ex, it's fucking crosses wires. It crosses all kinds of wires.
Yeah, I'm sure that if I went, you know, through something like that, I probably would be in a lot worse place.
Very interesting. So I guess on a question kind of related to that, How does your depression, if at all, affect the people closest to you, whether it's your wife, your son or daughter, your mom and dad, whoever you might live with, be around on a daily basis? How did it affect you? How did it affect them? Does it affect them?
There's a lot of people around in my life, prior and currently, but I'll try to be briefer this time. I mean, they understand what I deal with, mentally. So at first it kind of affects them where they're wondering why you're so sad all the time. Or, why, you used to love doing this and now you don't even make the attempt to do this anymore. Why is that? Or, they get, sometimes they'll get a little angry, why do you, and I don't like half yelling at you why you're feeling depressed. You have nothing to be depressed about. Which, I mean, if you look at the kind of lifestyle that I've lived in my life, and I'm sure Jamie has lived, we're privileged. We got that white privilege.
Yep.
Both of our parents are still together.
Yep.
Whether that relationship is healthy or not, I mean, by typical white picket fence American family standards, that's the gold standard, is parents that are still together. And no significant amount of, big drama. We did have a drug addict in the family, but that's since been resolved. That was me. But it wasn't, we didn't have some fucking heroin junkie robbing and, shooting up in the bathroom and overdosing, or we didn't have domestic violence issues and this, that, and the other. But, that didn't mean that I didn't have my own set of negative family experiences, because people are people and no one's perfect. But, in all honesty, people would look in and see, well, what do you have to be depressed about? Family included. Both of my, long-term relationships, both of them claim to understand it, but then always pull that whole, why don't you ever want to go out and do anything? Why do you always seem like you're so hurt and down all the time? It makes it hard to relate to people that are close to you. And at least in my immediate family, I have a great deal of love and respect for all of them. So for them to be kind of agitated with the way I am, that I really have no concrete control over, and it kind of hurts me to know that my depression affects them that way. But, I guess it's just a general kind of misunderstanding, but then it kind of comes around to understanding. Oh, that's kind of a whole convoluted thing, but I hope that answers the question as cryptic as it is.
Wow. You want me to answer too?
Sure, bud, if you feel up to it.
Sure. Well, let's see. I guess I'll just go at this the most straightforward way. I would say that my depression doesn't really affect my parents at all. They for the most part just kind of leave me be to my own devices. I don't really, like, my depression doesn't really have an effect. Like, it doesn't like manifest in many ways with them, except maybe like in the most fundamental ways, like in the way that I was raised by them, and the kind of our current relationship, which I won't get too much into because I know that someone listening in is probably going to use that as ammunition against me. But it's just that, when you had depression since like your teen years, and you're raised by people who aren't quite the model parents, and they didn't really know what they were doing. They didn't know what effects they had on you while they were raising you. And you feel like kind of alienated from them. Like you don't know how to just be with them. You know what I mean? Like it's weird to look at your parents and go like, huh, so this is my dad, this is my mom. It's just weird because it's like it's not what you would expect from a mom and dad. And it's like I never got what I think I needed from a mom and dad. So that probably, contributed to our overall relationship. Which I guess you could, that could have contributed to the depression or something. But I would say it doesn't affect our current relationship. Like there's nothing that happens to me or like that I feel that leaks onto them or affects them in any way. As for, I have one friend that I hang out with here in Orlando. I just said where I live. Well, it's not, whatever.
Everybody knows you're in Mickey Mouse Town.
Yeah, it's Orlando's pretty big, so it's like that area. There's it's a big area. So I have a friend who is also depressed, and she's more depressed than I am. She like her depression actually full on affects her in a lot of real ways that would make it hard for her to socialize and stuff like that. For me, I guess you could say I learned to put my depression under control a while ago. And so I can kind of put that away, where it's just like the Dexter thing from before. I put away the real me in like a little box or something when I'm, around people like in social situations and stuff. And it's not like I'm, donning on a completely different face or anything like that. I'm just kind of letting my real self just kind of be uninhibited. It's important to know like when it's time to have fun and when it's time to be serious and when, you should let out or think about these serious things about yourself. There's a time for everything. So I know that when I'm going out to have fun, I guess it's kind of a subconscious thing where I'm just like, all right, well, this is not a time to get depressed. So I'm just going to put that away until later. I'll deal with that shit, tomorrow or whatever. And I just go and have fun. And I don't know. It's just something like a switch turns on and I'm able to just enjoy myself. Does the social anxiety still get to me? Yeah, that's like, I'm taking out a loan and that's going to pay off later. Like when I'm in the social situations, I'll be like, all right, well, here's me thinking negatively about myself in this current moment. And I'll put that away for later where it'll accrue interest and I'll feel depressed about it next week. But for now, I'm having a blast.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I'd say even I can do that. Like if I go out, like if I go out to hike and my depression's on full on, by the time I drive to where I'm going to go hiking at and I shut the door to the soccer mom SUV that I drive, it's like, all right, nope, depression, you stay here. I'll be back. Just be a good boy here. I'll even roll the window down for you. Yeah.
That's actually really funny. That reminds me of the Robin Williams thing. Where they said like, sometimes the funniest people are like some of the most depressed people. It's because they have to compensate for their depression by just kind of taking as much joy out of life as they can. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it sucks. It's a debilitating kind of thing to deal with constantly, but you have to find some way to overcome it so that it doesn't completely drive you insane.
Yeah.
Or so it doesn't drive you to put the barrel of a gun in your mouth. So it doesn't tempt you to walk off a fucking cliff or drive your car off of a bridge or string a noose on the rafters of your attic and, rock the chair.
Yeah.
In the end, that's what can can seep in and consume you and ultimately be your demise if you can't find some way to push it back. And that's why I make jokes at every opportunity.
Yeah. And just so, you know, certain people who might be listening in are aware, that's not because of actual life trauma that occurred that makes us do that. It's our general way of being. We have depression, which is an ongoing thing that's lasted pretty much our entire, you know, adult lives. And that is why we are the way we are. It's not because of, she broke up with me, and so now I gotta be comedic at every opportunity. That's not how it works.
Yeah.
Study up on some mental disorders and learn before you speak about shit you don't know about.
Yeah. That's also not to say that, you know, people breaking your heart doesn't affect your depression, but that's not like the catalyst for everything. You know, there's a lot of things, you know, buried in our subconscious, and also, you know, decades in the past that have contributed to the actions that someone who suffers from depression takes.
Yeah.
You know, I've been cracking jokes like this since I was 12, not just because I got triggered on a live stream.
Yeah, right. Yeah, well, Eli is of the opinion that that any like recent trauma explains your current mental state. Like that's all there is to you.
Fuck this. I'm going to Chili's. I got to call into the stream.
You're like a two-dimensional character on a screen. That's all you are. It's like we saw you at scene 1 where you got broken up with, and now you feel depressed. Yeah. That's you. You're a two-dimensional character in Eli's mind.
We're the beginning of a shitty rom-com.
Mm-hmm. That's because Eli is still blue pill. He probably doesn't even realize the programming in a lot of these movies.
He understands the red pill matrix though, because that's a thing.
Yeah, I guess.
Sorry. Anyway, we're back to the topic. Is there another
topic? You big fucking pussies!
Right, fucking pussy!
God damn it! Is there another question? God damn it! Asystole. Is there another question?
Well, I hope I'm doing okay. I mean, I got a lot of things wrote down here. You guys want to keep going with me?
Asystole, I would just like to say that I think you're doing a horrible job, and I don't like you at all. And I think you're a terrible person. Well, but I'm tolerating you just for beard's sake.
And I think you should join the MGTOW Mindframe cult.
Yes.
We're already accepting members. I am like the second.
Yeah, and I definitely joined up as soon as I saw Mindframe's video.
Oh man, can you put in a good word for me?
Oh, I will.
Joe, it's already done. Your robe is in the mail.
Oh, thanks.
And also your complimentary packet of cyanide Kool-Aid, courtesy of Jim Jones.
All right.
Grave.
Mindframe is the new purple pill.
Great. Maybe Mindframe can tell me all about that hippo pill that triggered Dana.
Hey, the first rule about Mindframe cult is we don't talk about Mindframe cult. Have you already forgotten?
Shut the fuck up, big fucking pussy.
Oh man,
ain't that right, baby?
That's right. All right, Asystole, you have some stuff written down.
I'm trying to stay loyal here, folks.
That's going to cost you $200, sir.
You're gonna get banned. You're gonna get banned.
Help? You can contact Napalm Mallard.
Jesus.
Continue asking questions, and I also hate you. Keep that in mind. I don't like you.
I can't focus. I'm getting bad thoughts in my mind. I can't think straight.
Your depression's getting at you, man.
Oh God. Okay. Let me try to get straightened back up here, folks.
We'll take Eli's dick out of your ass, and then you'll be straight.
So we can all kind of agree that depression is a legitimate thing, right? Regardless of what it's caused by. It's like you said, it's a chemical imbalance in the brain, right?
Yep. Yeah.
So So earlier, Beard, you said something that was kind of interesting, and I'm not exact. I'm going to paraphrase. You kind of said something along the lines of these commercials are focused on lonely housewives that don't have anything to be depressed about. So with that kind of what that was kind of sounding to me is, you think there's some people out there that use depression as a crutch?
Of course, it's just like anything else. I mean, a drug addict is going to use their addiction as a crutch to explain their bad behavior. A child is going to use their ignorance of a rule to as a crutch to get out of being in trouble for breaking the lamp with the baseball they threw in the house when they know they're not supposed to. So there are a lot of people that have depression that will use it as a crutch to try to explain bad behavior or to get out of doing something that they have to do. But there are a lot of people that don't as well. But yeah, there are people that use it as a crutch. Just like everybody has something that at one point in their life they use as their crutch, whether it be to for the behavior aspect, to justify staying in a toxic relationship, even just to why they wasted a whole bunch of money on something they didn't need to waste it on.
Jamie, any points, any thoughts on that exactly?
Yeah, I think it's pretty obvious the people who use depression as a crutch that they talk about it all the time. They kind of be like, well, I had this good thing going, but then I got depressed and I kind of lost my job or whatever. I try not to talk about this shit that often, just because to me it's kind of a source of just it doesn't make me feel good to think about it.
Yeah.
So I try to just is it also like you also have to think, is it productive to say like, okay, well, this bad thing happened to me and it's because of this thing that's wrong with me. A lot of times I don't think that's necessarily true. I mean, you can always overcome. I mean, that might sound like I'm trying to downplay depression as something serious, because I'm sure for a lot of people it is. But for me, I wouldn't say I'm on the severe end at all. I never seriously attempted suicide. It never really destroyed any of my relationships in life, to the point of irreparable damage. If I had relationships with women and they ended, it was because of either personality differences, or maybe I picked those girls for the wrong reasons. And so that's why they ended. It wasn't because, I was depressed and I fucking destroyed it, out of what is it called?
It's like self-destructive behavior.
Self-destructive behavior, yeah. But a lot of depressed people will do that.
Yep.
But for me, I'm not on that severe end. I've thought about killing myself before, in my younger years. But I never followed through. Obviously, never tried. Never wound up in the hospital. Never did anything serious like that. So I consider myself lucky in that respect. If I'm a big fucking loser in life, it's because of my own actions.
And that you're an artist.
And I'm an artist. That's why I'm a big fucking loser. I'm not going to blame my depression on that. Can I say I tried to do what I wanted to do with my life, and then maybe depression didn't help? Sure, I think that's perfectly valid. But to say oh, that's the reason things didn't work out the way I wanted, that's obviously just a crutch. So.
So
Yeah.
Beard also. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Is there something else you wanted to add, Beard?
You can go ahead with whatever you were going to say.
I was just going to say, you mentioned something earlier. You said people that ask, or family members that ask, why don't you just get over it? Or why are you so sad? They obviously don't understand. That's obviously not something you want to hear. So what do you wish they would say?
I've thought about that.
I mean, that you don't.
Go ahead.
I mean, what would help? I mean, what would help them? What would help you for them to say instead of saying, "Why don't you just get over it?" What do you want to hear out of those people?
What I always wanted to hear when they would ask that is that it's fine that you feel that way. Eventually you're not going to feel that way. It might not be permanent, but eventually you'll feel okay, even if it's just for a little bit. At first they wouldn't say that, and it would aggravate me, but it didn't take long. I mean, it wasn't like 10 years before they would say that. I would say it's like maybe a year and a half or two after they would always ask why I just wouldn't turn things around. They finally kind of understood a little bit of what I was going through, and were just like, Beard, it'll be okay. Eventually it'll be okay. And sometimes that's all somebody that has severe depression needs to hear, is that there's light somewhere. There's light somewhere at the end of the tunnel. And I wouldn't say I'm like a super severe case, but I mean, I've engaged in that self-destructive behavior. I've ruined friendships because somehow I felt that I would end up destroying it anyway. So may as well get it out of the way before, I really hurt somebody and not giving it a chance. I'm sure it played some kind of role in my marriage, but bitches be crazy too.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when you, and this is the thing I've found out from, knowing about depression and dealing with it for so long, that, I notice I've always ended up going for women that are pretty crazy.
Join the club.
And and I think it's because we want somebody to get our crazy.
Yes. We want somebody
I want to
understand us.
I wanted to be with somebody that was on my level of crazy, but not
your exact crazy.
More crazy.
Yeah, that.
Oh, they could be my exact crazy, because then at least it's crazy. It's the devil,
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, that's what she's doing. I know exactly what she's doing. Bitch, your game is fucking caught.
Dude, that is exactly the kind of shit that I deal with regularly. It's just like you play some of these same games that they play, and then you're just like, I can see what you're doing. You're not fooling me. Maybe you fooled your past boyfriends, but
we're in the know, bitch.
Yeah, I know the whole game, and I can do the pathetic, insecure, depressed, nice guy, but I could also play the bad boy. So I can do both of those at the same time. I can run both games.
Yep. It's like, to use a sports analogy, but go sports. You're beating the spread on that.
Yeah, that
stacking the deck.
Touchdown.
Go sports team. You put the thing to the other thing. Scored a point. Go baseball. But I did send JB Gunner. I did send you an invite so you can pop on. For a minute.
Good. You saw that then? Because I was just gonna ask.
Yeah, I saw that Max has a question for him. So JB can join us for whatever length of time he can. I know his cell power is precious when you're out on the trail, but I think he said he was in a hotel tonight, so he might be juiced up. His phone, not steroids that he bought from Chris Cantu.
Yeah. Oh fuck!
All right, we have JB Gunner has joined us on the chat. Welcome, JB. How you doing? Good to see you.
Good to see you. To my cult, I appreciate you guys and all your service, and you guys are doing pretty well this evening.
Thank you.
Oh, see, Kyle, the Patreon donations are on their way, sir.
That's what I like.
Yeah, Joe,
I'm ready for my handbook.
I'm waiting for my orders, sir.
Joe, you are the newest, and all jokes aside, man, this shit is crazy. I do want to say something about your topic tonight, man. You got a good topic right now, and when I was young, I can't say I went through depression per se, but I went through a lot of like misdirected anger, And so when I was young, you know, it may surprise most people to know I was a cutter. I killed animals. Quite a few things wrong with me. And I learned how to just redirect all them feelings. And it's kind of weird because there was, I don't know if you guys have ever seen the Nightmare on Elm Street series, but I actually learned a lot from it. And I'm going to tell you which episode it was. In number 6, when they showed Freddy as a human and they showed his father beating on him, he looked at his dad and he laughed. And he said, you know the secret to pain? He said, you just stop feeling it. And so, believe it or not, as odd as that is, that stuck with me my entire life. So even now, whenever I feel like anger or sadness is overwhelming me, to that quote, and I just stop feeling it, if that makes sense.
I mean, that makes total sense.
Makes sense, but it's hard to put that into action.
Yeah, more power to you for being able to do it, though. I know that much.
Let me kind of show you how. Just kind of my. All right, you know when you jump into a cold pool, a cold swimming pool, or you get into a hot shower, the more you embrace the suck, you embrace it, the easier it gets on you. The hot shower gets cooler, the cold water all start to come back out, things like that. And so it's kind of, I don't know. I think the more pain that you take, I got stabbed 14 times. Only the first 2 stabs hurt. The rest of them I became numb to. And
probably because you're adrenaline.
How to explain how to put that in action, really. But I liken it to that cold water or that hot shower.
Yeah, that's a good analogy.
Yeah, I guess that's what Eli does. He just kind of keeps feeling the pain and just rushing through it. Like, I don't care if you fucking MGTOWs. Fucking kill me. I don't care. I'm a cuck. Kill me.
Well, you guys came online, so I don't know if you guys got a chance to see my stream I did right before I hopped over here, right before you guys started. So I assume you didn't get a chance to see it. I'm just gonna advise you to go watch it when you're done here, because it talks about that bully shit, that entire cyber bully shit. I mean, here's the truth. How does someone that makes 20 videos about someone in a row, such as him with Cantu, then turn around and say that Nemo is cyberbullying him because Nemo's made a couple, or you or even Jamie, who he's called a big fucking pussy 1,000,000 times.
Yeah, he's a big fucking hypocrite.
Yeah, and so what it is he's tired of the fight because he's got his ass whooped, and his own boys has joined the mind frame cult. And joking, but
yeah, you're the new purple pill.
There we go. But essentially what it is now that he's got his ass kicked so many times, he's essentially submitting, and he's like, okay, I'm done, so this war needs to end, and now you guys got to stop. No, that ain't the way shit works.
He started the fight, and then, like, once he got his ass kicked, he's like, all right, no, truce.
No, exactly. Exactly. And the truth of this is I had nothing to do with Nemo and you. And Joe
all
Buddy.
Against him. He thinks like we're all like in a little cult or
It's
something.
a cult.
Did you hear him today?
Yeah, I did. I went over there for a couple of minutes.
Yeah, he said that you were manipulating us into buying into your cult or whatever.
Here's the thing: is if I ever say anything that benefits you, great. And there's things that you guys say that benefit me. It's still no. What am I manipulating you into exactly? Are you motherfuckers going to start hiking the Appalachian Trail next week or some shit? I don't get it.
Yeah.
You know. But if he thinks that I'm manipulating you into not liking him, no, he did that himself.
Yep.
He did that when he fucked over Dynamite Rabbit, and he should know that. He should know that's the whole reason I cannot stand him at this point. It's right. Rabbit. It's all about Rabbit.
Well, here's the thing with Rabbit. Is Rabbit used to hate my guts. And that's the truth. And then what happened is Eli turned on him, because Rabbit changed his mind. Not just with me, but Cantu. But he was still an Eli guy. We all knew that about Rabbit. A turn on him. And then, of course, that's going to show his other supporters, like you, Buddy, all of you, that if he's quick to turn on a Rabbit just like that, just because where Rabbit puts his money as friends.
Yep.
You know,
I agree.
None of us were safe when he came out and said, I'm a business, guys.
Right.
Yeah.
He does not care about the emotional or physical, spiritual, whatever you want to call it, well-being of men. And that's why I'm having this stream tonight, because I give a fuck. And you give a fuck, JB, and Jamie gives a fuck. We all want to help each other out. And that's what this is about. It's not about the business.
You know, I just want to like, you know, Eli called me self-righteous on his, whatever, the second to last stream or whatever.
Yeah.
And I thought that was really interesting. And I actually Googled the definition of self-righteous, which I showed to you guys in the chat earlier, but just so I can put it on the stream. Self-righteousness is a feeling or display of moral superiority derived from a sense that one's beliefs, actions, or affiliations are of greater virtue than those of the average person. Self-righteous individuals are often intolerant of the opinions and behaviors of others. Who does that sound like to you?
Yeah,
that
Brussels
sounds
sprout.
like
Sounds like any cock'll do.
well, if you look at it, man, think about it. Eli's had so many beefs with so many people, but amazingly, no one else is wrong. No one else is wrong. I mean, no, he's never wrong. No one, everyone else is wrong.
Yeah.
You know, whereas you see me, I read your guys' comments under my blue pill, purple pill thing. So, you know, maybe my video came out a little harsh, and let me go ahead and correct this. Let me retract a little bit of what I said, because that I was wrong. You know what I'm saying? And so that's to me, as a man, I think you have to be able to admit you're right and when you're wrong. And he's having a lot of trouble doing that shit.
Oh, he knows when to admit when he's right. He just has trouble correcting himself. And, you know, I honestly, JB, I don't think you really even had to come out with that video today, because I knew when I watched your blue pill, purple pill video, you weren't talking about me or Jamie. I knew who you were talking about. I knew you weren't even talking about Joe Buddy, and he's a traditionalist and he's married. And I knew you weren't talking about him either. We knew the focus, or at least I did.
Well, let's not collectivize here. You know, I'm my own guy. I'm my own person.
Well, that's true. I was making a broad generalization, which normally I would reserve to be a generalization about broads.
Yeah. Yeah. So no. Okay. So when I watched your videos, JB, I disagree with you heavily, as you know. And I just posted the comments and just saying, like, you know, my disagreements, but I wasn't like, you know, bashing you or anything. I wasn't like, you're a fucking asshole for saying this shit. You know, we just disagree, and that's fine. Like, to me, it's like, you're going to think what you want to think. I'm not here to like change your mind, you know?
Right. Well, see, that's the difference between you and some other people, is when you look at your comments on my videos, you can see you articulate your message. And that's what you choose to do. That's why you like to debate some of your issues.
Yeah.
Is because you come out and you actually articulate your point. Whereas only shoots ad hominems and only discusses things from a self-righteous perspective.
A female perspective at that.
Yeah. And I love to debate because it helps me shape my own opinions about things.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I'd say the only difference. Yeah, I mean, you listen. A lot of my stances you probably don't, you know, subscribe to. Listen, there's MGTOW men that do not subscribe to every one of my stances. There's MGTOW men that say, "How dare you? How can you piss on a bitch's face?" You know what I mean? So I mean, there's nothing wrong with that disagreement, man. But it's what you do with it. You know, I don't look at you or Nemo. I don't even know what the hell pill Nemo. You know, the only reason I know what pill you claim is because it's on your fucking channel.
Yeah,
it's not really a thing. I don't judge you based on that pill. But then again, you're not coming into MGTOW either saying you want to save men from us.
Starting a church.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, when I first started my channel, I did so under the kind of impression that Purple Pill could still be considered MGTOW, and so that's kind of how I ran the channel in the beginning. And then along the way, kind of, MGTOWs kind of showed me that they weren't really accepting of that whole kind of philosophy, and so I was like, all right, well, I guess I'll just cater my message to people who are more accepting of it, and that was pretty much it. However, I still believe that I'm MGTOW because I basically follow the basic tenets of MGTOW, like the very basics.
Right.
You disagree with that, agree with that. I don't, whatever. It's just that I found this movement and I identified with it, and I just chose to do something different with my life.
Well, you also don't go around and like try to bully your way into saying everything you say is MGTOW, and you don't like label everything on your fucking channel MGTOW. You do your Purple Pill thing, and I think that now at this point, after everything that's been going down, I think that's what's endearing you to actual MGTOW, Red Pill MGTOW guys now, is that you're not trying to impose their philosophy on you, right, and brand it to you.
Well, if you think about that, ask yourself why majority of us don't beef with Charles Gray, or why we don't beef with Nemo, and why we don't care or choose to beef with. It has nothing to do with your philosophies. It has, because at the end of the day, you're still men. I hope I can help you, or something I say can make your life better. But if not, it's cool. We can just be cool and kick it. But at the end of the day, we had this guy coming in Purple Pill, calling it MGTOW, and saying he was here to save men from our brainwashing.
Yeah, he pretty much did every wrong thing that you could possibly do coming into this movement. And I warned him. I warned the guy.
Yeah, we all have. And he doesn't want to save men. He wants to make money off of men. If we want to save men, I want to save men. But I'm not going to try to shove something down their throat they don't want. Do it or don't.
Let me ask you, don't you find it ironic that his original attacks on Cantu, on me, on everyone, that we made money, whether it's Cantu's thing, whether it was my donations, and at the same time, and I knew he would show his true colors when that YouTube shit happened. That's what he talks about on every show.
Yeah, it's about money.
Help him get to the point where he can make money off of you.
Yep.
To me, donate to me freely. I'm not selling them anything.
The last thing that he wants you to think is that it's about the money, because then that'll cheapen his message.
Well, not just that, but then you'll be looking at him and seeing exactly what he is. He wants to deflect. At least, all these guys that he rails on for making money, they're saying, hey, you can donate if you want. I'll make money. I don't give a fuck. It's okay to make money. But he's like, no. But why are you sending them money? There are plenty of better people you could be spending your money on, guys.
Exactly.
They're scamming you. It's a scam.
Look, like I could understand if he was just like, pimping out his own like Patreon and stuff. Like, Charles F. Gray does the same thing. He pimps out a lot of his stuff, like PayPal, Patreon. And I'm like, all right, that's quite a lot of pimping. I could probably do that too. I don't do it as much as him, but that's probably good, so people are aware that you can donate to him.
Yeah.
But he doesn't like trash other people who get Patreon donations. Like, nah, don't submit to them. Like, just give me your donations.
Exactly.
To me.
And here's the thing, and that's where he looked hypocritical, and that's where the problem really came. Because at the end of the day, man, going to donate who they're going to donate to, and for some reason, Eli is not just mad that his Patreon still says 0, that other people's Patreons don't, and what it did is it was expose what his mission was. And that's why, and let me give you one brief example of how that's what it is. Everyone knows his entire chat room is nothing but trolls. If your name is Chris Cantu's beautiful hair, you're a troll.
Yeah.
Why do you think?
It's Chris Cantu's beautiful back acne now, I think.
Right.
And
Why do you think a man that in the beginning was so big on blocking trolls? You guys remember them days. Now all of a sudden is okay with them. Because at the end of the day, he doesn't want to piss that group off because they're making the sock accounts that's providing him. He needs to get to that 1,000.
Yep.
Yeah, they're on his side, and that's why he lets them run free. That if they were against him, dude, Dana, yeah, you need to ban Trim Hits. He just said my ass cheeks are spread apart. Ban him. Oh,
Right.
John Wick.
If
John
he
Wick
came
says that
out
Chris
tomorrow-
Cantu's a fraud. He's great. John Wick's the best.
Yeah. If he came out tomorrow and said, these Chris Cantu beautiful hair trolls are pussy. 300 subs.
Yeah.
Asystole, don't laugh. I'm on your last side.
Yeah, remember, you're behind enemy lines at the moment, brother.
Yeah, and I hate you.
right.
Fuck you.
Well, according to him, I mean, they haven't done anything wrong yet, so they get to stick around.
Well, the second they disagree with him, Banhammer or the fail whale will come in and block them.
Yep.
The fail whale. Oh, dude.
In Asystole, let me make something clear to you. Situation, because it's none of my business. Your situation is a very because I just wanted to make this clear to you. Your situation is a sad situation that I typically don't discuss because it's none of my business. So when I'm discussing Purple Pillars or anyone or anything, unless I say your name specifically, I'm not talking about you. Just so you know that, because you're the one guy that hasn't brought it up to me yet, but I've kind of heard you elsewhere. That I don't have an opinion on you or your situation. Just so you know that it's your problem. It's your business. It would be kind of a low blow for me ever to comment on that shit. I just wanted to say that to you.
Well, thank you.
I will comment on it. Your wife's a land whale, and she needs to get on a fucking treadmill and start sucking your dick. But tell the bitch to make you a fucking sandwich. She surely is getting enough of them on her own. I'll be the one to comment on your situation.
Yeah, hey, it is what it is. Fuck it.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm walking to this hotel.
I'd like to also point out that Eli commented on the over $100 that Jamie got in Super Chats last week. And he said it about 2-3 times that I heard. He was really mad and shouting and said, Jamie didn't earn that. He doesn't deserve it. What's up with that?
It's because he deserves it. He deserves that shackle chat and all those delicious shackles from all you good little soy goys.
You know what really pisses me off about that? like if I had just met Eli last week, I'd been like, all right, well, Eli doesn't know me. Probably thinks like I'm just some slacker guy who doesn't care about my chat. But the guy came to my channel specifically, sought me out, hit me up dozens of times to try to get me to come on his channel. Didn't come on my channel. Us collaborating, working together, using all these terms, like we were going to be in business together or something. Like he really cared about getting me to work with him.
Well, then you turned out to be a blue pill white knight cut mangina.
And I appreciated, him just reaching out. I think that's cool when people do that, and I don't want to turn that kind of attention away. I'm just like, oh, that's cool. Sure, I'll collaborate. And he said that he used to marathon my work, like my videos, and that he really liked my work. And he liked all the different kinds of videos I made, and he liked my catchphrase, stop the cuckery. And then he comes last week and just says, yeah, he didn't earn that at all. He didn't do shit. It's like, wow, really, dude.
So, by the way, I want to make this clear to you guys. Eli, the place that Eli rents, His family owns it. I just want y'all to know that.
Really?
Oh,
Wow.
well, the Brussels sprouts hiding secrets.
Yep.
So do you think he really pays $3,000? Who would charge that?
Not
own
even
rep-
close.
So he doesn't pay shit.
Remember,
He doesn't pay shit.
He's a big fucking pussy.
Remember,
Wow, so that's why he lives there in that fucking area then.
remember, it's not. It's a giant house that's broken off into 4 apartments, and he has one of them. It's a part. I'm not going to elaborate too much, but it's a giant. Go ahead.
JB, I think
That's
you need to
secret-
do a breaking news video, just like he did.
Impromptu,
Yeah.
up to the minute update.
No, that's privileged cult information. Eli's gonna have to pay $2,000 to hear that.
Oh man, wow, that explains a fucking lot then.
So his family owns a house that's divided into 4 apartments.
Yes, sir. Yes, yeah. That's exactly. Hold on. Let me answer this
All
call.
projection. He's projecting the whole time. What did I say?
Called it.
Yep.
Man,
Okay, so Jamie, if he's projecting and calling you a big fucking pussy, what does that mean?
That means he hates
He's a big
himself so
fucking pussy.
much that he looks at himself in the mirror and he's like, I fucking hate you. So when he sees someone like me, he's like, that's who I hate. That's me.
So that's why he says I'm a real man, isn't that right, Dana?
That's right.
Yep.
Well, you know, I know now. The only reason that I ever heard of Coach Eli in the fucking first place is because Jamie posted the replay of the first fucking Purple Pill show he was on.
Yeah.
God damn it!
Yeah.
But
It's all
anyways, I'm not.
It's all Jamie's fault.
Yeah, that's all. Sorry, guys. I'm sorry
Anyways.
for introducing you to this cuck.
By the way, I just want you guys to know I'm not joking. Now that house is very, very expensive. We're talking about a huge. So in reality, if he was paying rent, he probably would be paying that much.
Yeah,
But
he said his
because
house
it's
is
owned-
worth like what did he say? It was like
1.2 million, I think.
The house
$1.2
is-
million.
The house is actually 3.2 on Willow, but so it's a big house. It's a nice house, but the problem of this is his family owns it. His I believe it's his father is the sole proprietor, and either way, if you believe his family's charging him $3,000 or $4,000 or whatever he claims he pays, that's on you guys.
Oh yeah, no, that must be what the going rate is for one of those apartments. I'm sure that's the truth, but you know what women do? They always exaggerate.
That might be what the other tenants pay, but
No, I agree.
wow.
So do you think he goes to his parents' apartment and has dinner?
Probably.
He probably makes the dinner. He
it's
puts like the
just-
apron on.
Remember,
and
he
he
said
washes
he
the
wouldn't.
dishes.
Remember, he said he wouldn't move because of his mom. Now we know why.
Yeah, she's
Because
doing
Yeah.
her laundry too, right?
he lives with his mother.
Yep.
Wow. Wow.
Well, speaking of,
This is fucking incredible.
And I'm not.
I'm not a big fucking pussy, guys. I'm serious. Asystole.
Oh,
Back me up. 100%.
Please do it all. Ban you.
Beardy,
Quit hurting. You're hurting
I'll
my
send you the pic-
feelings.
I'll send you the picture to it right now. Beardy.
Oh man, this is fucking great.
yes.
Chris can't choose bristling ball sack. Please.
No, NYC's on that. While we're in raucous laughter, Dynamite Rabbit has asked me to please plug the channel of Sydney MGTOW in the stream. He is the gentleman from Australia, mates. He likened the coach to Schmeagol, right? And he deserves the big Fosters.
My Dana, my precious. My precious no Walter Dana.
There she blows. That's the fail whale, mateys.
Oh my god. Wow.
Is this funny? Is this a funny joke to you?
Fucking hilarious.
No, I'm dead serious.
Is somebody
So the
behind
fail
enemy
whale-
lines already?
Yeah, there's people here laughing, that's all. It's not me.
No, Asystole's not laughing. He's loyal.
Yeah.
Oh.
He saw something on TV. It was funny. It wasn't laughing at Eli.
Well, this stream has not only helped in tackling the major issue facing men of depression, but is also enlightened everyone, especially those in the mind frame cult.
There you go. You should have it.
Oh boy!
And it also cured my depression.
Yeah. I'm not depressed at all right now. I'm about to go check. I'm about to go check my email.
I'm fucking ecstatic.
It's been a great day.
Yeah.
Wow, man!
Of course,
if that's
there's no
real,
address.
I bet that is fucking. Oh my god! Wow.
See,
That
unlike him, in his supposed doxing attempt, mine's not fake news. That's real shit.
Ooh, shots fired.
Yeah, he was so excited when he thought you had a wife. He just blurts it all out.
Jesus Christ.
Well, what's so crazy about that, right, is all he did was find information on my ex-wife. Big deal. You know what I'm saying? I could have gave you that. I've been on the internet for 10 years. That's not a big surprise.
Who cares that you had an ex-wife?
Well, yeah,
a lot of men do.
Yeah, you're MGTOW, so
yeah,
kind of expected.
Yeah. So,
I mean, that's a nice looking fucking house.
It is.
I bet.
That's all I'm gonna say.
Dude, send me that email.
All right. This will be retained. We are not to share this because you know that Brussels sprouts they are really litigious people, and we don't want to incur the wrath of the legal action.
And of course, for legal reasons, my picture only is a picture. It does not possess any sort of address or city or anything of that nature. So, just want to make that clear.
No, there is no there. I do not believe in doxing, so that goes without saying. But you know we have to say it because we know Brussels sprouts also like to jump to conclusions.
That's
wow.
It kind of reminds you of Dexter's. It kind of reminds you of Dexter's house, Dexter's apartment, don't it?
Yeah, it does.
Those little rails. Yeah.
Wow. Ongoing theme of Dexter's stream.
I wonder if there's a secret box of slides hidden in the air conditioner.
That's funny shit.
Of course, now that this information is out, my mouse doesn't want to work. Somebody's
It's his lawyer froze you up.
Froze my shit. Oh god. I'm not even bothered by the dead air right now. The bombshell has just rocked the subterranean layer here.
Now, is Eli's father still alive, or did he?
No, he passed 9 years ago. I remember that because the Brussels sprout says it all the time.
Yep. Yep. Their names are similar. One's 44 and one was supposed to be 78, I believe, 72. So yeah, I got that. I know all that shit. I know his mom's name too. But I'm good with that. I don't need to dox people. But I wanted to show you the house and explain to you how he lives there with no job and just can play on the internet all day.
And like a big fucking pussy.
Yep.
Jamie?
Why would Dana want to date such a big fucking loser?
Free ride.
He's probably lying to her too. But and besides, whales will take you. You know, wherever there's fish food, she's there. And as you can see by looking at the picture, there's probably some water, a nice water source behind that.
Yeah, they're also very good at sniffing out inheritance.
Mm.
So
she's waiting, biding her time.
All right, Jamie. My mouse finally decided to work. I've got so much shit I gotta buy. Donate, people. Donate. Not really. This is free. That was the funny thing to say.
God damn. Huh. Wow. Okay.
Okay,
wow,
Max,
that explains so much.
Max brings up an interesting point.
I can't believe it.
let's be honest, you weren't on Eli's channel to learn about dating and relationships. You found him entertaining and wanted to help him. That's not true for me. And I'm gonna answer that openly and honestly. As a somewhat purple pill minded kind of dude, I wanted to see what this guy had to say. You know, he seemed like he was not knowledgeable, but at least genuine. And I think that's how he duped a lot of us into coming over. And originally, Joe Buddy can attest to this because he and I were on some of his earliest streams. They weren't fucking interesting, and not very many people were engaged in it, and it was not drama. He was actually trying to talk about relationships, and I mean,
He was the
they
most cringy person out there.
yeah, I mean, they didn't really go anywhere, but I mean, Joe Buddy and I interacted. It was like me, Joe Buddy, and like a couple of those little 22RR style trolls that he used to have. And, you know, I wanted to see what knowledge he possessed about relationships and dating. And when it became apparent to me that he was not going to be able to stay on topic and that it was just fun to troll around in his chat and, you know, shoot the shit, that's what I did. So this wasn't, I wasn't just around Eli to milk him for the lolcow he is, because he's a huge lolcow. He's always doing something, putting his foot in his ass, or Big John the microphone in his ass, or rapping about Mindframe, or talking about Chris Cantu, or doing something to you know, troll because it's easy. So originally I thought Eli was genuine, and I wanted to like him, and I wanted to maybe direct him in the ways, so to speak, of what this whole MGTOW thing is about, because he was talking out of his ass. He couldn't even do a simple Google search to figure out what the terminology was. He couldn't be bothered to lurk. I lurked around in this community for 2 to 2.5 fucking years, and I just started making content. Because you don't go off half-cocked. You don't go full retard. But he constantly does not take advice from people that know. And I don't even know that much, and I know more than him.
Yeah.
So, Max, I know you're relatively new around him, and you like him, and you seem to be a level-headed, cool guy. And I don't have any beef with you. And I wouldn't have any beef with the Brussels sprout if he wouldn't have fucking dug in Dynamite Rabbit's pockets, because Dynamite Rabbit donated to the bad man. But Max, I'm not trying to sway you in any direction. I'm just going to tell you what I know. I know that Eli seems genuine. He's not. He is a woman. Everything he does is like a woman does. There's not a manly bone in his body, in my opinion. And the way he treats the people that support him. Dynamite Rabbit went on his streams when no one else would go on his streams. No one called into his show. He had to beg people to contribute. That's how piss poor his format is. Nobody wanted to go on. Rabbit did. And then to turn around and stab him in the fucking back over $20 goddamn dollars. I can't buy shit for $20. I can't even fill my soccer bomb SUV up for $20. That just shows you the integrity, the loyalty. There is none. So if he could do that to a guy like Rabbit, what's to stop him from doing that, trying to do that to a guy like me, or to a guy like Jamie, or to a guy like Asystole, or trying to dupe a guy like JB or Joe Buddy? I mean, we're all too smart for that, but he is going to be the downfall of men. And I don't want somebody to fucking start a shotgun because he gave him bad advice.
Exactly right.
And that's my answer to your question, Max. And that's as honest as I can be. You can go report back to him. He can come listen to it himself. I really, really did not want to hate him, but I hate him. I cannot stand him because of what he is going to do to a man that doesn't know any better, that hasn't had the time or the forethought to go listen to a guy that knows things. To go find, you know, a guy like Terrence Pop, or to go find, you know, a guy like Traversable, if you like that, if you like the monk side, or to find JB, or to find Howard Dare, or even Chris Cantu, or somebody that knows a little something, anything is more than what Eli knows. And I'm done with my rant about the Brussels sprout. It's leaving a sour taste in my mouth, and I just don't want to see the aftermath of what's going to happen to another man. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
By the way, that breaking news and that picture in y'all's inbox was y'all's welcome gift, your initiation gift for the MGTOW Mind Frame cult. I just wanted you guys to know.
That's a great gift.
Thank you very much, Master.
You're very. He's he's boiling because he had 2 shows back to back, so he hasn't had time to watch my last video or this to see what just happened. Oh, he's he's gonna be up all damn night.
Oh God.
I'm sure some Better Call Saul style lawyer is going to be getting a call.
A lot of light, man. It really.
So, Asystole.
He fucking died.
Does that?
I'm here, buddy. I'm here.
Does that change your opinion on the man?
I think he's a wonderful.
You got to
man.
answer that live.
I think he's a wonderful man.
Oh, quit simping. Quit sucking his dick. I know that it's not big enough to gag you, but come on, man. You can't. After seeing what you just saw, you cannot Charles F. Gray this, sir. You cannot be that neutral.
No.
Especially after the fucking verbal ass beating you tried to hand to Jamie on that stream that's private of mine. You know what I'm talking about? I think I've rendered him speechless.
Good fucking times. Good times, I tell you.
Yep.
I'm gonna sleep easy tonight. I'm gonna sleep damn good.
I love every minute of it.
You're gonna wake up tomorrow morning and you're gonna hear the music like "It's a beautiful morning."
Or ding dong, the cuck is dead.
Yeah.
Oh, rabbit!
And did you ever ask yourself if maybe that is why he doesn't go on camera when he's at his house?
Yeah, that's what I said. Didn't I say that?
Yep.
Joe?
Wow.
Because hold on, if you live in a $3.4 million home, okay, you're telling me that it has all them amenities but not good internet, or if you can afford $4,000 a month rent as you say you do, you're telling me you can't afford a data plan that's unlimited? I don't believe this shit.
Yep.
Fuck, I live in
fucking excuse ever.
I live in my sister's basement and I have unlimited data, so there's no fucking excuse.
Yeah. He's just a bullshit artist.
Well, it's because he doesn't want you to see all the knickknacks that's probably around his house, and he took you into the kitchen when he did his stream because maybe that's what his dad decorated before his dad passed, and there was some cool things in there like the beer. But if you just look around a little bit more as you watch and go back and watch that Christmas stream now, you may be able to spot a lady's item or two.
Yeah.
So,
Max, I know women talk about each other nonstop, but this, I'm not even going to say this is different. You make a valid point. I'm still just saying every tactic that Eli uses on other people is a female tactic. And if you can't see that, you don't know females as well as you think you do.
Look, everyone talks about everybody, regardless of gender. But when it comes to dealing with people one-on-one, Eli treats people differently than let's say all of us treat each other.
Yep.
That's the difference. Did anyone hear that?
Yeah, I heard it. Right. I was waiting for more.
Oh, okay. Well, it's just like, saying that talking about him is like, oh, we're like gossiping about Eli. We're like women. Everyone talks about everyone. Like that. Yeah. It's not like a woman thing to talk about other people, especially assholes in your community.
Yeah. And this is an ongoing kind of, situation that we're all facing. And I'm going to loosely speak for everybody in this room right now, maybe aside from Asystole, since Eli is firmly planted in his suck hole right now, or he's just trying to stay out of it. But all of us want what's best for the community of men as a whole, and men like Eli are not what's best for the community that we're a part of. And I'm not MGTOW. I'm not strictly purple pill either, but I am a man, and I don't want negative attention coming to this space that we all inhabit. We want to help men. The more people that know about this that don't need to know about this are just going to prove detrimental to the cause. It's all about helping other men and having fun in the process. Eli just wants to stir the pot.
But he's like a useful idiot. That's the thing about Eli, that it brought us all together and it showed us what not to do.
Yeah, and it did unify kind of the purple pill and red pill guys that we kind of have been, taking little jabs at each other for the last couple years, and now it's a unified front. It's not red pill versus purple pill versus blue pill anymore. It's anybody versus whoever wants to harm men. It's a unified effort.
And here's another thing, man. It's not about just talking about each other. This was a counter strike again. That's typically what happens. You know what I mean? And I don't know about you guys. I'm just not the type of person that can sit and listen to someone run their mouth about me for 2 hours and just let that shit slide. And especially when I knew when I was listening to his shit, I knew the truth about him then. And I went ahead and did my stream, and then I did this. At the end of the day, that you can't let the dude just run around thinking, as he attacks everyone else, tries to dox everyone else, supporting the doxing even of Chris Cantu. Just, it's all about doxing with this guy and eliminating people and getting rid of their channels so his can flourish. You can't not counter.
Yeah, so, that was kind of what my my troll videos were about. It was kind of just my way of doing to him what he had tried to do to me for the past, couple weeks or whatever. It's just like, look, you're a fucking asshole, and you're pathetic, and this is what everyone thinks of you.
And essentially, what he did today is, I'm all of a sudden some manipulative scammer, and you guys are all my bitches now. That essentially is the way he dropped this shit today. Like that, and he may do it passive aggressively, but at the end of the day, that's what he was saying. That I want to hurt you guys, and that you guys are just stupid enough to fall right along with it and just suck my dick for the next 6 months. And it's ridiculous.
Yeah, what is that rhetoric?
He assumes that you have the capacity to hurt either of us. And if you said something that would be hurtful to me, I would just say, "Oh, fuck you, JB. I'm not going to listen to you anymore." I mean, do we not have? Are we just drones?
Yeah, we don't have free will.
Are we? He thinks that we're children or that we're stupid.
Yeah.
Well, he thinks that I should interact with you, Charles Gray, and Nemo and Joe Buddy and all of you the same as I interact with him. So he thinks that because I dislike him, I should dislike y'all. And the same thing, vice versa. He thinks you guys should hate me just because he does. And that's a woman's thing.
Yep.
It's the collectivist thing.
Yeah. And and what he's realizing right now is I don't dislike him because he's purple pill or pink pill or whatever the hell he is. I dislike him. Yeah. Rainbow pill. I dislike him because of his own characteristics, not because of what clique he represents. That doesn't matter to me because we're all individuals. No one's helping Jamie put his dick in a bitch. No one's helping me piss on a face. At the end of the day, we're all individuals.
Yeah, we may be a part of a collective whole, but that doesn't mean that we follow a hive mind. We all can't be good little cuck boys and blue pill swallowers like Eli. We all can't be in the single mother cult. We're in the mind frame cult.
That's right.
I think the way that Eli demonizes other people, it all stems from his jealousy of whatever men that he's attacking. Like, however he attacks you, that's where his insecurity lies. So like if he attacks Dynamite Rabbit for the money thing, he's insecure about money. If he attacks me about, you know, me living at home with my parents or the types of women that I date, he's like, "What? You only care that much about looks? I mean, you got to care about other things too, man." That's because he's insecure about not being able to get women who are attractive enough. And that's how
exactly
he attacks.
right. Well, think about it. That's what ugly women say. Ugly women say it's not about my appearance. It's about my personality. That's all he's saying.
Yeah.
Essentially white knighting for fat ugly bitches.
Yep. No arguments.
No doubt in my mind. Oh, I'm sorry. Talking out loud. Apologize.
And that's really what it is, because no man really thinks that way. No man really thinks it isn't about the appearance. We all realize it's about appearance. You know, I mean, unless you just cook one hell of a stew, which this is 2018, bitches don't do. So at the end of the day, it is about appearance. So
yeah. Look, Eli got me and JB Gunner to agree on a live stream.
There we go.
That's incredible.
And it's not just because he's a dues-paying member of the cult. Now that's an honest opinion.
Yeah. Well, I'm definitely hypnotized now. That's definitely true.
Well, at the end of the day, what I've realized as I've continued this beef and as I've even listened to you guys is I've now seen the difference. Eli isn't even part of y'all. He's as blue as it gets. This is a man that believes that women's nature is inherently good.
Yeah.
It doesn't get any more blue pill than that.
Yep.
You know, so he can say that he has taken in the red pill knowledge all he wants, but he doesn't believe it. He thinks women are inherently good. And no, even a purple pillar, if that's what you guys are claiming to be, even a purple pillar as yourselves, you guys know that bitches can burn you, and that the good majority of them will burn you, and that you have to be sneaky in order to not get burned. He seems to not understand that, and he seems to think that it's the opposite way, that every now and then one can burn you. No, there's too many men committing suicide and dying for it to be just one every now and then.
Yeah. That's because, I think he just lacks experience. I think he maybe had one girlfriend dump him in his early 20s. Then he was single for a long time. Then he met that girl who, he was with for 7 months. And then she cheated on him. And then he met Dana.
Yeah, so he went through a long TFL period.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not surprising.
Really that's the theory. I don't know if it's true or not, but that's the working theory.
And I think we can all agree that TFL are total fucking losers. Isn't that right, baby?
That's right.
I don't want to make enemies out of TFLers again.
Oh, so. Yeah. You had all that drama with them on your. I remember those comment sections. Those were brutal.
Yeah. So.
Damn.
I think we gotta kind of be all understanding of each other's issues, as men.
Yeah. It's united against the common cuck enemy.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's pretty much it, man. But at the end of the day, man, and I'm glad I got a chance to talk to you guys, because I did want to let you guys know I definitely separate all of you individually from the purple pill. I mean, from the rainbow pill. Yeah. And with him, it's kind of hard not to. I mean, it's kind of hard not to. All of you guys have different personalities. And it was really funny because when Eli was going on Jamie's show, you heard him just talk shit all week. I'm gonna manhandle this big fucking pussy. I'm gonna manhandle it.
Then he bent down and sucked Jamie's all-encompassing dick for 3 fucking hours.
He's like that kid that talks shit all day and says, "I'm gonna meet you outside at 3:00 out as soon as school is over," and then he sneaks down the alley as soon as school is over and doesn't meet in the yard. It's just pretty much
because he's an intellectual midget. He doesn't actually know what he's talking about. He can't debate with any kind of confidence about anything.
Well, anyone that saw his interview that he originally did on my channel will see what happened. He was so agreeable. The first time I ever talked to him, I couldn't bash him. He was so agreeable, it was pathetic.
That's his tactic.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Oh, wow.
Wow. Oh.
But so here's what I think Jamie should do next time he talks to Eli. When Eli starts talking about, Jamie living with his parents or whatever, Jamie should just sing to him, "You are not alone." He should sing that shit right back to him and say, I get it. Because that's projecting is exactly what he was doing.
Yeah.
And if he doesn't live with his mom, he at least lives in the apartments of the house his mom owns. You know what I mean? So he's not paying what he's saying he's paying.
Yeah, Max just said it's his point. It's tiring to hear people continue talking about him. That's what we felt for the last 2 months. When every time we turn on Eli's stream, it's like a broken record. Chris can too. Chris can too. Chris can too. Chris can too. None of us. Nobody cared, and it's tiring. It didn't matter. It didn't matter. It wasn't news. It wasn't news. No one cared. Just leave the guy alone. And I would love to leave Eli alone, but he keeps doing shit to stir it up.
Morpheus Reborn says, truthfully, I would hate to see him hurt, since so many men have been hurt who thought they had no waltz, and many of those men act crazy after breakups. Well, you know what? I think he needs to be hurt in order to kind of see some truth. He needs to be woken up.
Here's the thing. I actually agree with Max. I would actually agree with Max in terms of I can't wait to the day where Eli is no longer being talked about. I can't wait to the day when DDJ and Chris Cantu are no longer going at it. I can't wait to those days, And I try to squash all my beefs. Me and Reversible MGTOW no longer beef. But at the end of the day, you have the cuck is thriving on this drama. It's what he's doing. And so, yeah, we play into it, and we're probably dumb for doing so, but it is what it is.
But it brings us all together, so, it's positive. We'll have positive impact on other men. So
yeah. Also, I made some good content that people seem to enjoy. So
yeah, no, I thought that was great. You even had Miggy 101
yeah.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, most popular fucking MGTOW channel on YouTube likes your shit. So
yeah, he keeps hitting me up now. He's like, "Hey man, you should check out my new video."
Yeah,
pretty cool.
Yeah, he's trying to red pill you, and he should. That's his job. But yeah, he likes your shit. He thought that meme video was great.
Yeah, he's cool.
Apparently, Max had a question for JB. Asystole, do you have that written down?
No. Well, I think he was asking something about your experience of being in jail, I think, my friend.
In general? Or what is
Well, I don't know. Max, can you repeat the question? That way he'll answer it, I'm sure, if you re-ask it.
Yeah, 10 seconds, guys. I'll pull the turd flinging monkey show tactic. 10 seconds.
No, well, at least here we don't have slow mode on. You don't have to wait 30 seconds to chat.
And we have tons of moderators.
That's right.
A shitload.
Speaking of, MGTOW's the only way to live. I know Darren, his other channel, he's got a wrench, but I'll give him a wrench. Napalm Mallard, you get a wrench just because you took my made-up name from last video. You know what, Max? I'm going to give you a wrench. All right, more wrenches. Wrenchgate 2018 still going on.
Everybody but Eli. That's great. that is great.
And he said he was going to stop watching me and stop giving me exposure and helping me, but he can't get mine and Jamie's names out of his mouth now. So
yeah, he calls me like the purple guy. It's like, and then he says Jamie. It's like, just say the fucking channel name.
That guy with the beard.
Here's what that idiot doesn't seem to get. He seems to think that he blew up your guys' channels. First, number one, Jamie already was sitting good on his channel.
Yeah.
Number two, people like me came and subscribed to you because of your due to your comedy, Bearded. It had nothing to do with because you talked. You did an interview with Coach Eli. In fact, that would be a reason for me not to subscribe to you. But I thought you were a funny dude with the Howard Dare voice. So I said, fuck it. And the more I listened, the more funny you were.
Yeah, see? And he may have driven a couple people over here. Yeah, maybe. But people won't watch if you're not entertaining. And even if I just live stream, as long as I keep up the fucking hilarity, people are going to watch. And actually, in the last 2 days, since the Brussels sprout has been providing me with more things to make fun of, I've gained more subscribers in that short span, if you look at the grand scheme of things, than the entire time that he says he's helped blow me up. So, yay, you.
Well, that's how it works. You know, he may be blowing you up by beefing with you now, or by having an issue with you now, because anyone that Eli's feuding with has to be a good dude. That's the way I see it.
Yeah, same.
I just subbed to you from my Punk Static channel.
Oh, I think I'm subscribed to that channel.
You got 170 now.
God damn.
Damn.
I was sitting at like one.
You might get 1,000.
I was sitting at 145 at the beginning of this week, and it's Thursday.
Nice.
So that's awesome. That's awesome.
You're gonna get you're gonna eclipse Eli.
Oh, he's losing. Is he still below 700?
Probably.
I'm not sure.
And Max, you need to re-ask your question so JB can answer it.
He's at 694.
Shit.
Max was excited because he got a wrench.
I told everybody today. I said, let's get Nemo 1,000 before Eli. So even if you're not a fan of Nemo, or you've never listened to Nemo, go check him out. Go subscribe, because nothing would piss Eli off more than you getting there first.
Oh, that or if Dynamite Rabbit got it and he doesn't even have any fucking content.
Oh, you know how mad he is about NYC. You know how mad he is about NYC Korean MGTOW having.
Yeah, he's got 900, right?
Yeah.
Well, I have to subscribe to NYC. Let's put him over 1,000.
Yeah, I've been subbed to NYC. He's such a great guy, and he's everywhere. He's fucking everywhere. I need to watch. Didn't he go on Miggy's show today?
Yes, he did.
I'm gonna have to listen to that so I can hear NYC. Put a voice to the Korean whatever his avatar is.
He's got any content.
Got a new sub, NYC.
No,
so why do
have
people
a single video?
Why do people sub to him? Just because he comments on everyone's videos?
Yep.
All right.
And
I don't think I've ever been in a stream that he's not on, except maybe Cuts.
Yeah.
I'll sub to him just to piss Eli off.
That's the main reason I would suggest doing it now.
Hey, I just came back from behind enemy lines, and Eli is telling guys to lie to women. When you want them, you tell them, "No, I don't want to have sex with you. I respect you, and I just enjoy your company."
So he's telling people to be a cuck.
Yeah.
What a fucking moron.
Loser.
And I think this guy said he respects women.
Yeah. Well, think about it. Think about it. He lies to women every day. Do I look fat in this dress?
Don't take advice from women.
Yeah.
How many times we got to say it? Don't take advice from women.
So if he's trying to give PUA advice, he basically he went and got butthurt about Miggy's video yesterday that had that old talk show footage, and he's probably parroting back what the PUA said.
He's probably parroting Corey Wayne because that's like his personal god.
Yeah. If there's anybody whose nuts he's firmly grasped on that's not Big John, it's fucking Corey Wayne.
Well, I take exception with that because I don't think Corey Wayne would have said, "No, I don't want to have sex." He wouldn't say that.
Yeah, probably not.
Like when you invite the woman back to your place, you just, be a man and just make shit happen.
Well, Eli also
not the-
said that, we've all been with a girl and we've been nice and doing everything she wants. And then she stops having sex with you and just says, I just want to be friends. That's all happened to all of us, right?
No.
No.
No. I
Well,
mean,
I guess it's happened to Eli.
yeah, well, the relationships ended because of arguments and, mental illness and shit. But the sex, I never was like friend zoned after a relationship. So
Why would you accept that?
well, it's not even that. Like, I was never offered friendship after a breakup. It was just like, all right, bye.
Yeah, well, that's how it should be. But I don't know. In my experience, both of my big long term relationships. Oh, we should still be friends. Yeah, it doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
It never fucking works like that.
I think I'm too much of an asshole to remain friends with a girl afterward. Like, there's too many there's too many hurt feelings and shit like that.
Then too many bad memories that overpower the good memories. Like on my recent ex, when I left her, she was fucking crying and wanted to well, that just means you can't stop being friends with me. And then I tried for a week to still talk to her just out of niceness, and not fucking crickets. So it's okay, yeah. We see it's just so that you can feel better about the fact that I left you.
That was probably like a shit test, and she wanted you to just ignore her, and then when it got to be too much, she would come back and fuck you.
Yeah, and I'm gonna be honest with you, gentlemen. The last month of our relationship, I did not have sex with her willingly. Anytime that she got on this elephant dick, she was raping me, basically.
Ew.
But biology.
Sounds kind of hot.
Yeah.
Well, when 225 pounds is
No.
on top
Holy
of you, weighing
cow.
you down, it ain't no fun. Yeah,
What is she, like, 6'5"?
This bitch. Oh fuck. Yeah. No, 5'4".
Oh damn.
Yeah, she did not used to be that fat,
Hey, Beard.
but they rarely ever are. Yes.
I found out our bathroom scale has a memory thing on it. Take a guess how much the old succubus weighs.
Jeez, do I 230.
It's actually not nearly as much as you think. 176.
Are you serious?
I swear to God, I couldn't fucking believe it.
Wow.
And Darren, to answer your question, I had to think about other women. So
That always works.
Damn.
I mean,
Hey,
I
women wants to
generally
rape me. I'm okay with it.
I mean, I generally like girls that are a little chunkier. They got bigger titties. They have nicer asses, in my opinion. But at a certain point, it just reaches too much. There's too much cushion, and the pushing isn't enjoyable. When her stomach jiggles like a bowl full of jelly, I don't think of something I want to stick my dick in. I think about fucking Santa Claus, and nobody wants to fuck Santa Claus.
All I could say is you would have liked some of the girls that I wasn't
There
that
ain't
into.
nothing wrong with a little bump and grind. Damn.
Nemo starts talking about fucking fat chicks, and it's crickets in the audience.
So are we gonna ever get back to talking about depression, or is that done?
Yeah.
Are we
Yeah, let's
done with that
let's rein it back, because I do want to end the stream soon, and we'll end it on a note of helping men on the topic of depression. So, TFC, Asystole, do you have any more questions written down?
Yeah, I had one. If you don't mind sharing, what was your absolute rock bottom lowest point?
That's a good one.
My absolute lowest point. I mean, honestly, I'm gonna say up to the current moment, 2018. Normally I would have said it was when my ex-wife told me that she was divorcing me, which was pretty bad. But actually, right now it would be the October 2017 when I lost my job.
Damn.
When I got laid off. I am a very hardworking guy. I'm intelligent, but I could never do jobs that are, more brain power kind of thing, office settings and that. So I've always busted ass in factories, and I had a really good job. And I'm not going to go into why I lost it, but I got fired on my father's 70th birthday. So, that was a long 1 mile bike ride home, and I honestly wanted to swerve into oncoming traffic.
Damn.
So more than people, I place a lot of stock into my ability to provide for myself and for my son. And they took it away. They took that away from me. And I had already gone through, my second biggest breakup that I've ever been through. That all the while I was being red pilled by watching YouTube videos, I was engaged to this woman. And then her kids were, mentally and physically abusing my son. And then, a month after that, I lose my livelihood. And all I could think about was that I was a gigantic failure and a piece of shit, and that I wasn't going to be able to provide for my son.
Yeah.
So for me, that's my new low. So right now, it's all I see is fucking daisies ahead. I'll hand over to Jamie. He can go into his.
Holy moly!
I can't top that.
It's not about topping it though. It's about sharing what was your low. Because I mean,
but dude, I want to be as pitiable as you.
Okay.
I'm jealous.
So,
I don't
so
have.
You're on the Eli method then.
Yeah, I need a story like that people can latch onto to feel sorry for me to give me more followers.
Yeah. I honestly hope though. I know that was a joke, but I honestly hope that nobody wants to follow me just because of a sob story.
I mean, they might think that your channel helps them cope a bit if.
Yeah, well, that would be a good thing. That would be a good thing.
Yeah,
I can understand that.
Like they relate to you and you help them in some way to, understand themselves better.
I got a sad story.
Go for it.
My mother owns a $3 million house, but but when she dies, I'm going to have to share the inheritance with my two sisters. Doesn't that suck?
That's I'm playing the world's smallest violin for you. You can't see it. You can't see it, but trust me. This Dickie Bourbon, you can trust me. It's playing in the background just for you.
Nemo, it's that reason. I'm glad I banned you.
Oh,
This is great shit.
Yeah.
For sure.
Don't start with the cuckster, JB. Okay, I got a lawyer on retainer.
Okay, you know what? I'll give a story just to contribute because I've had low points, but not like that. So you guys know I lived in Oregon for a bit, like 2 years. This was like 5 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I had a relationship. It lasted after like 8 months or 9 months, and I took it really bad, like so much worse than the last one that I had. Like that one, I was pretty much over after like a month. This one lasted for like this, trauma that I was going through. It lasted for like 2, 3, 4 months, and because it was like, honestly, to me, like that was the relationship where I thought like I had the most one-itis feelings about this girl that I was seeing, even though we had so many arguments, so many like, you know, pseudo breakups, and we just weren't right for each other in a lot of ways. I still wanted to make that work, even though like I broke it off with her because I knew something wasn't right. But I didn't trust that instinct. Okay, and I was too insecure about myself, and it was too you know, I had low self-esteem, and I didn't have like, you know, high enough standards to walk away from a bad situation. So, you know, after that relationship ended, I was like, I was fat, you know, it was disgusting. I had low self-esteem, and you know, that's when I started going to the gym, and you know, I got a membership, and I started to go out more, and I discovered the red pill. That was when I discovered, you know, PUA and all that stuff. And I slowly started to like get healthier, and it was just, you know, I think is when you get in like the deepest, darkest parts of your life, it kind of motivates you a bit to kind of rise above it, because you want to believe that there's something better for you out there. And that was sort of, you know, me awakening, and to realize that there was a better future for me than that situation. So I know it's not like that depressing, but I guess it's you know, if anyone wants to use that as a guide to figure out their own depression, I think you just gotta, you know, suck it up and pick yourself back up, and just keep pushing forward.
Good. That's a good answer. Did you mute, Jamie?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well said.
Thanks.
Oh,
Anything else down there, Asystole? And we'll go another 5 minutes or so.
well, I guess the final thing. Can you guys hear me okay, or am I breaking up?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, I was just going to say, and this might lead to a little bit of a discussion. And again, this is just my ignorance talking, but do you guys think, now obviously we all agree that depression is a real thing, but do you think it's more prominent here in Western civilized culture? I mean, because, you know, and I've said this before, and it might be kind of like pretty caveman way of thinking of things, but remember where I'm coming from here. You know, if you're in, you know, a place that's not as civilized as where we live, we don't have all the amenities here, you know, there that we have here. You know, if you're so crippled to the point where you can't function, you might not physically survive, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, does that kind of play in? Does our Western society kind of play into that kind of? I don't know how. I'm not trying to say it's excuse, or that ability to get to that, if that makes any sense. Like, you know, if you're living in a fucking African tribe, and you don't go down to the river and fetch water for your family, like, you're not gonna live. You know what I mean? Like, there's no time, there's no way you can be physically depressed to the point where you can't function. I mean, you'll die off. Here, I mean, we go to the water tap in our house and we turn the fucking faucet on, and, you know, we all know that. So, you know, is that a little bit of an excuse, so to speak? I mean, you know, how can we sit here and know that there's so many people, you know, truly struggling in this world with all the good things we have, and be sad? I mean, what is, you know what I mean? Does that make any sense at all?
It makes a little sense. Go ahead, Jamie.
My counterpoint to that would be, so do you think people in Ethiopia aren't depressed?
Well, I don't know. I guess I've never really spoken to one. I'm sure they could be, right?
They look very depressed from my perspective. I think
Sure.
depression is kind of it's a universal thing. I don't think that it has to do necessarily with we're just so westernized that we're just kind of sitting on our asses wondering about our existence and getting depressed over it. I think that's kind of a simplistic way of viewing it. I think it has to just do with our higher brain functions kind of getting the better of us, and that's anywhere. Like, that's in any society. People exist everywhere, and we all have problems that we deal with, big or small. And I'm sure, like, if people have really big problems, that's a very good reason to be depressed. So I'm sure in, like, in more what is it, unfortunate countries, or what is the descriptor for that?
Yeah, you could say that. That's a good one.
Underprivileged, or you could just trump it and say shitholes.
Shitholes, yeah. I'm sure they're depressed as well about their state in life, but they have different issues that they deal with, from day to day. But I think the human condition is ubiquitous.
Yeah, I don't know. I think my answer to that question is that I think in any society where excess is lauded
Prevalent.
so highly, and where you can be famous just for making a sex tape, and you can be famous just for posting a video of yourself eating a Tide Pod on YouTube. Any kind of culture like that's kind of degraded and gotten to be more vapid than previously is going to be more prone to depression, because everybody's so focused on instant gratification. And I don't know, maybe it's prevalent like here, and let's use the US exclusively, since all of us here are residents and born and bred in the US. At some points it's kind of in fashion to be depressed. So maybe that's why you see such a large prevalence of it. The people that suffer daily, that don't use it as a crutch, like guys like Jamie or myself, that we kind of, unless we're talking about it like we are tonight and kind of a learning situation, we're not focused exclusively on that. So I don't know. I really don't know how to concretely answer your question, but I do think it's probably more prevalent in our society, just the way society is. It's geared towards, people always being satisfied. So when they're not satisfied, they get depressed.
I don't think we're qualified enough, honestly speaking, to kind of answer this. We're not sociologists.
Yeah. Let's just disclaim this disclaimer should have been at the beginning of the video. But if you've been through this entire stream and you've gotten through the original depression aspect, and you got through the cult meeting, and you wound up here toward the end, neither myself nor Jamie nor Joe Buddy nor Asystole 810 are in any way, shape, or form qualified to give professional advice on depression, its treatment, or anything but our own experiences with this. So don't say I took that purple pill guy and that beard guy's advice, and I'm still depressed. God damn it. And I'm going to kill myself. No, we are not experts. We are just passengers on the bus.
For sure.
Yep. Yeah, we're pretty clueless. We just know our own experiences pretty much.
Asystole, was that the last on your agenda? Because I'll probably go ahead and end the stream if so.
I have one more. Maybe this one will be quick. Can you hear me okay?
Yep.
What would you say to somebody, or what would you like to say to somebody that thinks depression is a sign or a form of weakness?
Okay. Here's the thing. Being depressed is not a weakness. It can be a detriment to you. It can weigh you down, but there is never an excuse for anybody to shame you for being weak because you're depressed, and you shouldn't shame yourself for being weak because you're depressed. It's just something you deal with. And I actually think that some of the strongest people that I know are depressed because they've found a way to cope with it. You know, they may not always be in top form, but they're stronger for fighting off their own demons. So I would never suggest that someone that's depressed is weak, unless they actually are weak, in which case I would say seek immediate help from a professional. And not a life coach, an actual professional.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, gentlemen, I'm sorry, Jamie. Go ahead. I thought you were done.
I mean, I can give my viewpoint on it. I think Bearded really did sum it up very well because honestly, if I were to hear that, my first instinct would just to get pissed off because I'm sure that there's many things that I can do that not a lot of people who aren't depressed couldn't do. And I would say that, my depression doesn't weaken me from doing those things. But it just kind of, it speaks to a person's character when they want to say depression is a weakness and they want to say that to your face. And it's like, what kind of person are you to want to do that to someone? Like, I'm going to tear you down just so you know how weak you are and how much better I am than you. That's why it would piss me off, just to know that a person like that wants to make me feel that way. But anyway, sorry that I ended it on a kind of bitter note, but
wow. No, that's great. No, it's not great, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Well, gentlemen, thank you for allowing me the opportunity to ask some questions. Hopefully we help some men in the process, and you guys have certainly gave me a lot to, I don't know if you want to say open my eyes, so to speak, or somebody that doesn't deal with that kind of thing. And, sure, there's a lot of people out there that don't.
So do you think you have a little bit better grasp on what it's like to deal with depression, knowing that you haven't experienced the same thing yourself?
Well, let me put it to you this way. I'm glad I don't, and I'm sorry that you guys do.
Well, don't be sorry. Don't be sorry, because then that would make us feel like there's
something wrong with us.
That you would pity us. It's just, it's good that you know what people are actually going through, and it makes you appreciate not having it. So I think it's been successful then, in my opinion. Per se, it's been successful per se.
Yeah,
we learned a lot tonight.
This is kind of why I don't like talking about it, just because I don't want to feel separate from other people. I want to feel like just like part of the crowd.
Yeah,
and that's kind of how I've learned to cope with it. Is like just learn to deal with it. Don't shove it in people's faces, and then you can just be a normal person.
Oh, damn, Rabbit, you could have been in, but I'm really about to end the stream because I didn't go to bed till midnight last night because we were up pontificating about the potato drama, unfortunately. But yeah, Asystole, I'm glad.
No dislikes.
I'm glad that we got to do this finally, because I know you and I had talked about doing this for a while, and I would like to say to everybody in the chat, I appreciate you all for coming over and watching this. These are the kind of streams I would like to do on a regular basis, where we actually tackle a topic that men face that's not just about women. Because I think we as a community spend too much time focusing on how terrible women are, and we ignore men's issues. Yeah, because men deal with a lot more than just bitches.
Yeah, we should stop talking about Eli. You're right.
Yeah, exactly. And drama.
Yeah,
where drama streams are fun and they bring a lot of views. I've gotten so many views on my streams where we're drama, but I'm gonna bet that the view count on this stream is gonna rival that if the word gets out and men come over to listen.
Yeah.
To all the points that we've given. So I'll try to make this a regular thing on this channel, and bring in different contributors and the same contributors, because I kind of like the little group we've all had going on my channel and Jamie on your channel. I'd like to do one of these streams and bring Jack in, because I think he's a good source. I think this was a great stream. And before I go into let everybody have a final little comment, I'm going to go ahead and mention my patrons on Patreon that are supporting my channel through their hard-earned shekels. My first patron is Wise Night Owl for his $1 donation for a cup of coffee. Thank you, sir. I don't know if you're still in the chat. And Dynamite Rabbit for his $5 a month donation. I appreciate you, sir. You donate to a lot of good men. And Jamie, the Purple Pill guy, we're on the show for his $1 a month donation. And also on the channel, Joe Buddy for his $1 a month donation, helping build the bearded brand one shackle at a time.
You're welcome, sir.
Thank you. And if you're in the chat and you do feel like donating, you can. But as always, I provide my content for free to help men. I don't expect your contributions for my loyalty, for my continued efforts on the effort of men. And this is a service. This is charity. This is to help people out. And I think all MGTOW and Purple Pill and whatever ideology you follow in this, or philosophy, let's not call it ideology, you follow, is valuable information and should always be free. So Asystole, final thought.
Yeah, great show, man. I mean, got off topic for a little while, but it was entertaining. We learned some major bombshell news. I mean, it was like Nagasaki up in this bitch. Hilarious. I can't
like
wait.
9/11.
Aw.
For Eli.
Aw. It got hijacked. Aw.
It's 9/11
Anyway.
times a billion.
Aw. But yeah, man, great show. I mean, thanks for answering the questions that I had. And if you guys ever want to do a financial stream, I'll be there for sure. So that'll be a good one, I think, for sure.
Yeah.
And Joe Buddy, are you still behind enemy lines, I'm guessing?
No, I'm just muting because my stapler.
Oh yeah.
Anyways, a nice stream, nice questions there, Asystole.
Thanks.
And I was behind enemy lines for a while, and everybody in the Nemo chat, you made the right call. The other show sucks.
Does it ever not?
Yeah.
Well, sometimes when we used to be on it, it was okay.
Yeah.
Well, because we trolled the chat, and the chat was where it was at.
And if Eli had to go to the bathroom for 10 minutes, then it was a really good show.
Poor Eli.
Isn't that right, Dana?
That's right.
Do you guys think there's going to be like new versions of us in his chat that are going to like have their own little streams, and they're going to have like like we were like the 10th graders, and they're going to be like the new 9th graders coming in.
Yeah, he's gonna have somebody else that'll do an after party for him, I guess.
Yeah, and it'll just keep going.
I won't do after parties. I'll just preempt his streams with my own. Thanks, Joe Buddy. Jamie,
You're welcome, bearded.
and if you want to give a preview about the show tomorrow, and then I'll Doward hair us out.
All right. So I guess for the show tomorrow, I'm changing up the format a bit on my channel, which is the Purple Pill. Instead of, we used to kind of talk about our own personal experiences and just kind of go one after the other. It's kind of a dry affair. I'm turning it into more of like a debate session. So I'm going to have like 5 questions that we'll bring up, and we'll just kind of debate them, one after the other. One of them is going to concern Eli. Another will concern the Purple Pill and then Blue Pill, and what's the difference between them. And that's just a little preview of what's going on tomorrow.
And
at 8 o'clock, 8 p.m.
Is the Brussels sprout going to be a guest?
Fuck no.
Okay, good. So you guys don't have to endure Eli for a third week in a row, but you will have to endure me because I will be coming on at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Yeah, and we're gonna have JB on, I believe, for like 15 minutes or so. So that'll be cool.
Hey, maybe you can get a cameo with Coach Levi.
Ooh.
Only if Asystole comes in to back me up, guys. This is life, Coach Levi.
I promise, Coach Levi, you will have a neutral party to always back you up with anything that you say.
Hey, I'm here to get you cucked, so you can be the best disposable utility you can be for any single mother that your heart desires.
Nice.
Okay. Hello, MGTOW. Hello, man. This is Doward Hare. Thanks for stopping by. It was a good stream. We talked about depression, and then JB Gunner came and he dropped a bombshell to cult members and all dedicated followers in the chat room. And then we went back and talked about depression again, and it was a good chat. We helped a lot of men. And I and little Howie were here. You know, we were kind of in the background, giving dick cheese to everybody, and all these women at the grocery store, you know, that keep dropping things in front of me, showing their breasts, and just making all that blood go from my heart to little Howie. And I had to take an extra blood pressure medication and a beta blocker. and when I got my bicycle back home, you know, I had to lay down. You know, little Howie was too excited. You know, I took care of him. I beat him around, and you know, that was that. But anyway, thanks for stopping by. As always, like, comment, subscribe, and donate. And click the bell icon so you get all relevant notifications, as I do plan on producing more content for you. Good night, MGTOW. Good night, man. Thanks for stopping by.